Hi everyone, welcome to ZealZaddy. I'm Scott Coventry, one of the founders of ZealZaddy, along with Cliff Dunn, who you will see around 6 o'clock when he runs Zealots of Zul, which you should definitely tune in for also. That's a D&D game that is sword and sorcery along the lines of Conan the Barbarian. ZealZaddy. I'm Scott Coventry, one of the founders of ZealZaddy. Oops. I should turn that volume down, I think.
Time travel again. God.
So, along the lines of Thieves World, not Stormbringer so much. He's not quite as dark as Melnibone, which is hard as heck to say. But definitely Conan, and if you're into bad movies, Krull.
Excuse me, Krull is a classic.
It is a classic bad movie, for sure.
I want you to take one of those adjectives out of there. I will let you guess which one.
Krull or Cull?
Cull, whatever it was.
Krull, you mean Krull, the 5-pointed
Yeah,
blade?
exactly.
Yeah.
I think it was Krull, right?
It's Krull.
That was Krull, but that was the video game. Cull the Conqueror was Kevin
Cull.
Sorbo and
Oh,
Marty
okay.
Firestein.
Yeah,
Oh my
those
God.
bad things from back then in the day, trying to, take money from the Conan move.
With this axe, I rule.
To get everyone up to speed, this is season 1, episode 9. The episode name is called Crack the Sky. I'm the creator of Crosscodes, which is an Esper Genesis campaign created by Alligator Alley Entertainment, who is fantastic. They're up at GameholeCon right now, having a great time while we sit around and stream.
Having a great time.
Having a great time also. For those who don't know Esper Genesis, it is a sci-fi variant of Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. It is not, though, orcs in space. So there's been a lot more thought been put into it. I don't want anyone to get the idea that it's an identical system. It is not. It is based on it and use it well. And from what I've heard, there are a lot of people over at WotC that play Esper Genesis as their favorite sci-fi game, which I think is cool.
I did not know that.
We play every Sunday at 1 o'clock, and we are at the Adventure Game Store and in the Adventure Game Cafe, which is right next to it. Keith is here today, and Glenn do an awesome job of keeping everyone up to date on games. They're probably the most knowledgeable game people that you'll ever meet in your entire life. So if you have questions about almost any type of game, board game, role-playing game, card game, maybe not dice games. You guys know dice games?
Tabletop entertainment.
Okay, cool. Before we get started, don't forget to follow us. Click on the bell to get notice when we're about to go live. Beyond a simple follow, subscribe to the channel. It is a cool channel. We do a lot of stuff. Last night I was just streaming about world building and had fun chatting with some people on there. That was cool.
I almost got in there. I got to the point where I saw you guys were live, and I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna see it." And I heard, and then he got trapped in a corridor. They couldn't get out, and then I was click.
Yeah,
Turn it off.
No spoilers, please.
No
right?
spoilers.
Right. And it would totally have spoiled you. Totally. That conversation was spoiler central. We're on Twitch. We're on YouTube every Monday. I move everything over to YouTube so that it becomes available on there also, so you can watch it into perpetuity. We chat on Discord sometimes, although not as much as I would like to yet, but we're going to be doing that more. We have a Patreon if you want to support the channel and support what we're doing. We're doing a lot of cool stuff and a lot of fun. And follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Let's get started. What I want to do is I want to go around the table and introduce everybody. Although Keith is new, I'm going to only have him introduce who he is, not anything about his character yet. Because his introduction to the rest of the group has not happened, and it will happen in game. So I don't want to get too far beyond that. So why don't we start we'll start with you, Eugene.
Hello, I am Eugene Marshall. I am playing Kelrin Ganrick. Kelrin is a Dendus Melder. That means he's a particular kind of alien who has intuitive Esper powers. But his background is scientific. He's a celestial cartographer. And so his developing of these intuitive powers was something of a surprise. I think that's probably enough for Kelrin for now.
Okay. Kevin Wagner. The character I'm playing is Jack Crow, a human specialist born on Freesis, and usually working out of Port End. As a pilot, he also indulged in a little smuggling.
The good stuff.
The good stuff. And so far it's just having a great time getting wrapped up in all the mess we're involved in.
Port End or Mark?
Oh, Mark, sorry, you're right.
No.
Ah, wow.
Good catch.
Mark, I know. Well, okay.
You're hired.
Yeah, you're in.
Right.
There
Pass
you
the
go.
test. That was a trick. See?
Yeah,
Pass.
There you go.
Do the recap next episode.
Nice. Okay, thanks.
Hello, TV Land once again. I'm Kyle Jablonski, and I am playing 1479 Soren, the Ashen Forged Warrior. He is currently freaking out right now and needs help coming down. But other than that, he's doing just fine. He's making new friends. He's getting to interact with interesting people in violent ways. And currently, yeah, we'll be doing slightly better, but hey, can't we all?
Awesome. And I'm Keith, as it has been said. This is my freshman tour with the crew of Crosscodes, and I'm thrilled to be here.
Awesome. All right, does anybody want to do a recap? Who'd like to volunteer? I'll pick one if no one wants to volunteer.
I'll volunteer.
I was going to pick you because you haven't done one in a while.
I did one, I think the session before that, so
Oh,
thank
really?
you. I've done
Okay.
the most, aside from Jake.
Okay. Oh, all right.
All right. So, if I recall, after the event of the session before the one, in which Wraith was apple cord, got his free lobotomy, we were questioned by the head of security, I'm trying to remember her name. She's one of the Tawny, thank you. Tawny. And we were able to extricate ourselves from the situation without any real legal ramifications, despite doing an obviously shady deal. Slightly shady. We were able to get Wraith to a hospital on Freesis planet side, dirt side, and then we were tasked with basically going to the moon, Tsar, which is controlled by the Romanov family, one of the many rivals of the Dubois, so we can at least have some slightly safe haven there for a bit to get the materials and what have you for ship repair. We needed to make our way, along with exchanging what information we had and our beloved one-time mascot, George the Sheep. We then proceeded to make our way to the belt to get
To the deep wind.
Thank you. The deep wind, which is the asteroid, but one of the asteroid belts in the Freesis system, to get our full repairs done. At which point, we learned some new things. I believe Jack found that he could I believe you something along the lines of expanded consciousness of the ship and about new and interesting toys. Kellerin, what was it that you learned? I'm trying to remember.
All kinds of lore.
Oh,
I
yes.
can recap it for later if somebody wants to know that.
Oh yeah, that's right. Some more about the origin of the ship, about what's going on. Just enough to give us a little bit better idea of what's going on, but just enough to get us even more lost.
Yes. Two step forwards, one step
The
back.
more information you have.
Yeah.
There are more known unknowns now.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Then we did a bunch of speculation. We did a bunch of speculation. I think we came to the conclusion that we had a micro jump to an alternate universe right next to us, to which Soren was not pleased. We made it to the deep wind. Was able to get exchange the parts, and after a couple weeks, get the ship more or less repaired. think we got everything good. Okay, good. With our alternate universe counterpart of our Jack's contact. I believe. Oh yeah, I went down a infinite corridor of heaviness, and that was in my room. It is always been. That was the reason why I slept in the bathroom that one time that giant centipede attacked. And then when we activated the ship and pulled away, a chill in the air and a mysterious ghostly voice. And that's, I believe, where we stopped, more or less.
It was. You heard the word finally. That was all it spoke.
That's right, finally.
And there we are. You're in the ship and you hear that word. And there's a chill in the air. There's condensation that grows along the walls, spreads out.
And so am I right in remembering that the portal that you went through to the endless hallway of gravity, the ship wasn't aware of it? Doesn't know it exists.
It didn't acknowledge it. Oh yes, and we also found out that the ship has the Sorium-D and the learning computer, a smaller version of the computer that the Dubois were trying to do.
Right.
Forgot to mention.
Super brain thing.
Yes, I don't believe the ship acknowledged it. I mean, there was some tacit acknowledgement that that Soren disappeared and then he reappeared. Like roughly 3 seconds.
Find you. That was
Roughly 3 seconds later, give or take.
And a moment later, you hear all crew are called to arms by the computer.
The computer.
Oh, thank you, computer. Computer, did you hear that voice?
There's a threat on the ship.
Location.
I can't identify where.
Oh.
Is this down your mystery passage that you were talking about there?
We do not think so, but regardless, please arm yourself with what you have available.
No.
We fear we may have a insect hunt on our hands.
Insect.
Military term for flushing out intruders and or critters in a vessel.
I see. Okay. Unpleasant?
By the way, did any of you mess with the thermal regulators? Seems a bit chilly in here.
It does. I think I'm going to use Esper Sense. So I bring that up, and I think it's like 30 feet radius or something. So
Yeah,
there's any weird Esper stuff going on.
The air seems to be radiating some kind of esperness.
Something's going wrong here.
Just so we're clear, where are we? Because last I remember, I went back to bed because I had enough of metaphysical shenanigans.
You were about to go back to bed.
I was about to.
And that's when you heard
So
finally.
we're on the bridge, I guess? Or?
I think you were in the hall.
You were in the hall with me, and I decided, yeah, that's enough of this. I'm going back to bed.
And then this happened. All
I
right.
think you were piloting.
Yeah, Jack,
Yeah.
did you... That wasn't you, was it?
No. I'm going to come out and try and reunite with them. I'm going to say, no, that there seems to be, the computer's worried about something on the ship. I believe...
There's an Esper effect happening, and it's not from any of us. Is it? I guess it's not.
Defensive maneuvers are being undertaken.
Maybe they're closing bulkheads or something. Let's look around.
Let us stick together as much as possible.
What do you have on you?
I am, well, since I was like...
I never asked that question.
No.
I kind of need to know at this moment.
Well, at this point, I was actually close to my quarters when this happened, so
Yep.
I'm able to fully kit up. I've got the drop forged boot knife. I've got my combat shotgun. I've got my triad shield and my shock maul. So I'm, barring any explosives in the future, I'm good. I'm loaded to boot.
Okay.
Ready for work.
I have very little. Just maybe my laptop with me. I'm not really a weapons guy. So.
Probably not the saber, but both daggers and the alien pistol and holster.
All right. So where are you going?
Well, I'm going to meet up with Kelvin again because we were just left and came back, so I'm sticking to him for a bit.
I'm standing in the hallway waiting for you to come back, seeing you emerge from the bridge. I guess there's nobody on the bridge.
Right now, no. I mean, the ship can fly us for now.
Is there a sense that the cold is coming from a direction? Like, do we see frost creeping
Looks
this
like it's
direction?
coming up the hall
From the rear?
from the back, from somewhere in the back.
I think our source of the trouble is follow the cold.
Hold on 1 second. I'm going to go retrieve my saber. And,
Okay.
come back out.
Very good.
Okay, let's go see what's back there.
We will take point.
Yes, you will.
And as you're walking, make me a perception check. The three of you.
Put my little
Passive.
drone up. Whoop. Oh, how do I miss this giant target? Should I take that or I should roll it?
But if you use the tray, you gotta keep it in the tray.
Okay. Well, 11, 11, and now a 12. All right.
21.
16.
19.
The two of you, out of the corner of your eye as you're walking down the hall, see an open doorway along the hall. But then you turn to look at it and you don't see it.
It's happening again.
Uh-oh.
Am I not one of those two?
You're not.
I will
You
tell
keep
you
walking,
that.
probably.
You see anything in your peripheral vision there, Kel?
It's bad.
When you really take a moment to look, you can see like a door. I don't want to even call it a door. An open black void in the shape of a rounded corner square. That it's just open, but when you go to look at it, it's not there.
Just so we're clear, this is my hole that keeps appearing in my. This is the shape of the hole that keeps appearing
Yes,
in
it
my.
does.
That's it. That's the one we were talking about. We are
Really?
not crazy. We are not crazy about
I
that.
never said you were crazy out
Not at
loud.
all.
We knew you were thinking it.
No, you were able to read my thoughts. That's very disgusting.
We weren't. We weren't. You just confirmed it for us.
Oh.
Curses. All right. Well, computer, are you registering these openings? In the
No
hallway?
response.
Oh.
Huh.
Keep your eyes open. We do not. We think there's the possibility of uninvited visitors.
So how far down are we? Still near the bridge? Like if we
Yeah.
wanted to stick my head in.
And there's definitely Esper rolling all over that door.
This whatever I
Yeah.
see, it's because it's glowing. Right? Okay.
Yeah.
So just quick, are we close to where the computer's core is stored?
Yeah.
I would want to stick my head in there because I can't think of anything more valuable on the ship than the AI.
That's true. Yeah.
Nothing's in there that you see. You don't see anything.
Does the, kind of like with him, does the opening pace us? Or is it in one spot?
Interesting you ask that. As you start moving, it does seem to move with you a little. And it's weird because it follows along a wall, and there are things on the wall, and it just ignores the fact that there are things there and just keeps.
Is exactly like we described. Continues.
It
to
is.
follow us, minus the sensation of crushing gravity.
Can I? So I'm now registering this as well that they pointed it out.
Yes.
Can I? So is it reach out and touch close?
Yeah, it's on the wall.
We recommend caution with touching.
I agree. I've got a collapsible staff.
Your
Good
future
call. Wow.
template.
Yeah, I know. Oh, man.
Yes.
I'm just
The most valuable no-cost item just
Yeah,
about
right.
there is.
I just am not quite looking. I'm trying to keep it in the peripheral vision and jabbing at it.
When you stick it in, it hits the blackness,
Mhm.
and wherever it goes in, it disappears. Like you don't see it fade out into the room. It disappears at that point.
Okay. And so
It
it's
goes
not
from-
like it's into a dark hallway. It's like hitting a membrane or something.
Correct.
Okay. And there's no pressure or something though.
No.
All right. And when I pull it back out,
It's like a membrane of dark.
Right. Okay. So when I pull it back out, is there the staff
It's
returns?
still there.
Didn't get dissolved or something.
Is it cold?
Oh, it's cold in there. The staff is cold.
It's real cold in there.
Let us continue on. We can investigate that after.
I go, yeah, you're right. We should. And I reach out and pull a mag seal sample jar. Yeah, we'll do that. And see if I just grab air or something from within it.
So you put your hands in.
I do.
Okay. Make me
That was a
a
dumb thing.
con check.
Put your hands in the mysterious black hole.
13.
Okay. It's fine. It's really cold in there. Like
Outer space cold?
maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, outer space can also be super hot.
Well, this is true. That's a good point.
Yeah.
this is
outer space, not all freezing void.
Yeah.
It could be loaded with radiation.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
exactly.
Delicious radiation.
No,
So
it was an uncomfortable cold.
okay.
And it was also uncomfortable in other ways.
Okay.
Like, you feel emotionally detached from it in a way that's kind of unsettling.
Okay.
Like, it was freaky.
That's unsettling. I wouldn't recommend that. Cold and
Yeah, I wouldn't. How are your hands?
Really?
cold and weird.
Huh.
Is there
Does-
anything inside the sample jar?
You don't see anything.
Not that I.
Does there seem to be, I don't know, like looking this way and that, is the cold emanating out of that, or
Yeah,
is
it's
there?
he can tell from like it's rolling out of that.
The Esper energy.
Yes,
So it is.
the Esper energy.
So it's not coming from the cold. The Esper energy is not coming from a room in the ship. It's coming from
It's coming out of that.
the hole.
Yeah.
Do we patrol the ship to see if there's any disturbance, and then if we find nothing, begin our search of the hole? before we-
Yeah.
I'd rather look in the not hole option right now. I like that. Let's go down the back, the engine room.
We would prefer to reserve the hole for.
And everyone make a dex check.
Oh, my.
It's a pretty uncommon one.
Oh,
A
That's
group
good.
dex check.
A group text check?
Yeah, everyone's
Okay, well-
not together. I mean individually.
natural one.
I got a natural one as well.
Wow, I got 2 natural ones. 11.
11.
Is it a save or a check?
It's a check.
A check. So I got a
I
15.
am-
Everyone,
I'm busy
15
conversing
total.
with Kelvin.
the ship goes blurry and nearly translucent
Oh,
to the outside. Like it's almost like, you know how when a tire spins you can kind of see it just becomes like a blur, even though there's things. It does that even though it's not spinning, and you can see outside the ship, and you feel like you kind of everything becomes a little softer, like the ground itself, and then you hear
this is
defensive systems are operational.
oh. Is the computer is the translucency the defensive system?
You don't get a response.
Computer isn't very talkative today.
It's occupied.
Looking,
Say busy.
yeah, I mean, looking around, do I see anything I don't expect through
Like-
the ship? I mean, other than the outside, but I mean,
You don't,
okay.
We are staring at the infinite void of space.
but you can see like a translucence
It's like
that is the
Wonder
ship.
Woman's invisible plane.
Yeah, it's kind of like being in that,
Wow, that's
except
cool.
it's blurring a little bit.
I guess so. It's like it's normally only visible on like to the naked eye. Now it's not even.
We wonder if we are invisible
I don't think so.
from the outside.
Oh well.
You know what? I think evac suits might be good to get into.
We think this
I'm
is
gonna
a
go
good
find my
They're back
evac
in the
suit.
hold.
In the,
They're in the hold.
Okay,
that's where we're
Let
headed,
let's
right?
go that way.
Let us carefully make our way to the hole.
Yeah, I'll kind of gesture in my little bonded companion, my little drone. You know.
Poke the ground there and make sure we
Yeah,
Give me a
right.
perception check. Just you.
It's another natural one.
Okay.
One out of
So,
400 chance.
all right, you
Oh, no.
you get back to the hold. Make me perception checks, the two of you.
14.
I have a 17.
Okay, as you go in, everyone turns to the right and to the left. That door that you normally couldn't get into is open, and there's an old man's walker holding the door open, and there's a man standing there.
Now,
Not a human though. A Kesh, and he's wearing a white lab coat, no shoes, and he looks like he's using the walker to kind of hold himself up.
Soren drops to a fighting stance and just unslings the shotgun. He's like, identify yourself. And it's just quickly,
what?
pointing right at the guy.
Look around.
And does anybody speak Kesh? Keshian?
Hash, can you remind me, are which
They're the nomad race. They're the ones that
Yeah, they're the only species in the system without a home world.
What's their
Have a-
appearance?
Their appearance is quite indistinct,
kind of.
and that is their ability because they are somewhat like shapeshifters.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh,
They can
those
raise-
guys.
The rubbery face guys.
Yeah, they
Huh.
can manipulate light and form, and
Oh, that's interesting. Okay, cool.
One without the bulky suit.
And you've seen Kesh. This one looks a bit emaciated.
Now, have we? I know that we couldn't go in that room earlier.
Yep.
But when we came back, we noticed that the light was green. We could go in.
Yep.
But did we choose not to go in? Did we? Not
You didn't at the time because you were dealing with the repairs, and you didn't want him to go in there with you.
Right. So we haven't been in that room.
Correct. You haven't.
Do you speak?
And a robot floats out from
Kesh.
over
No.
that person, carrying like a box, and he goes over to what you know to be a waste disposal, and he dumps material in there.
Is it on, what did it look like? Machinery or?
You can't see in the box; just dumps
Oh,
it.
okay.
Do you speak, Kesh?
No. Just let's hope the guy speaks just galactic common.
Hmm.
Hey, Mister. No response.
There's a response in some words that you don't recognize.
Is he glowing? Does he have an Esper presence? Because I got my Esper sense up.
He does, but it's unusual and different than anything you've seen as far as seeing it. Like the shape and colors are really unusual, and you can't identify why, but there's something different about it.
And does it match the colors I've seen coming out of those doors?
No.
No. Okay.
I'm gonna judiciously just get a little closer, just a little bit. I'll try variations on common, Terran, galactic basic, and then do see to just like saying, who are you? Who are you? Who are you?
And the person keeps looking at your weapon, and
Make any gestures.
and you can tell he gets nervous, and he collapses to the ground.
Oh.
And then he starts pulling himself up, and you can tell that he's weak.
Okay, so I will.
Shoot him.
Yes. I was gonna say sling the rifle on the back, but that works too.
I will drop my Esper sense and use decipher languages. So then I won't be able to
that's
speak
useful.
in his language, but I'll be able to understand what he
That's a
said.
good one.
You've had this the entire time. You make me look like a fool.
Well, I mean, you.
Well, you don't know what he just did.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
All of a sudden, I just do something, make mutter something under my breath, and then I concentrate and I can hear what he's saying. So I'll look at him and gesture like, "Could you repeat that? What was that? Could you say it again?"
I mean, he appears pretty weak.
Yeah.
I'll sheath the saber and I'll attempt to help him up actually as he's doing that.
And he says, say it. Only he can hear it.
dost thou perceiveth my meaning?
Oh,
Did you hear something? What did he say?
I said he asked me if I understood him. Well, sort of. Kind of a archaic form, I think. Can you understand me? Which I'm not speaking your language, so probably not.
Let's see.
No, I don't think he can understand me. I can only understand what he's saying. But so, how do we handle this? Does any?
I don't know. I'll help him up.
Yeah, I'm like clambering.
Yeah,
onto
okay.
you. Obviously very weak.
Put him back under, or over your walker.
It's trapped between the door frame, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
As I'm kind of holding, I kind of check him out. Does he have anything on him, like other than his bathrobe or whatever he's wearing?
I'm wearing one of the Artorian lab coats.
Oh, okay.
Four arms.
Lower arms tied in front of the waist, as is logical.
Like a belt.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Huh.
And nothing else visible. I'm probably grabbing you by the shoulders to hold myself up.
Oh, okay.
Wobbly in the knees.
Make me perception checks. All four of you.
Oh.
Oh,
Okay, not a 1, but 2.
nice.
This is that
Over
kind of
20.
day, huh?
Huh?
Ooh.
Over 20.
It's 10.
18.
6.
23.
You see someone else kind of walking in towards the group from the back that is kind of wispy and fuzzy, like the edges aren't clear, and it has sort of non-corporeal parts, including, oddly, 4 arms.
So I focus and squint.
It doesn't help.
I still might be hallucinating from my weakened state.
Yep.
But my focus is on that. If anybody else notices where I'm looking,
I'm watching him like a
I don't understand Kevin.
He looks over
I'm
your
not
shoulders.
necessarily sure what this means.
Turn around.
And there's
Yeah.
and there's a creature there floating in the air that is non-corporeal, is like the edges are fuzzy, almost like the ship even, kind of see-through-ish on the edges, and you can tell hanging down there are 4 arms, and it's in some kind of cloak.
once again,
Whoa.
as a mimicking, pretty much mimicking what just happened. Soren drops to the fighting state with the gun out, just like.
Friend? Of course, I'm speaking in Old Keshian.
You hear him say friend in some really weird dialect.
Yeah,
What
he
he say?
said. He said, well, he asked if the guy's a friend. Hey, you. And then I'll, I guess I don't know what language I would speak anyways. I'll just cycle through, yeah. I'll say it in Common and then Balare. We've been studying this ancient language of the ship, because I can see the guy's got 4 arms. I gotta guess this guy's a Taurian.
Probably, yeah.
Close.
So, would I be able to cobble together a few, like, pigeon words, just like know what the word for friend or peace or...
Maybe your
Hello.
linguistic roll.
Yeah, some formal phrases.
Yeah, something that I did. Okay. All right, I have linguistics.
Start program.
Okay, there. I got out of my 1s and 2s. All right, so that's 21.
You think you could probably squeeze a few words out that would make sense to someone?
Well, I'll give it a shot. I'll put the hands up, and I don't have 4 of them, but greetings, peace, friend.
And it stops for a moment. And then it continues moving towards the group.
Ooh, that doesn't look friendly. I'll
Yeah.
pull
Did
my
you-
saber.
I'll
I'll
remove
pull my
my hands
saber
from you
back.
and be
Yeah,
back on the
yeah.
ambulator.
Did you say this thing was friendly?
He asked if it's a friend. I was just saying being friendly in what the Atorian language. I don't think it's friendly. I don't think this is that 3-child we've been hearing about.
Mm.
Maybe this is the other faction.
As-
Remember?
As best I can remember, it's
So
got
I am
that
about.
phrase that we heard in the Torian about the final thing commences, the way is now open. I'll try that in the Torian, see what it does.
And you see it
However-
raise its arms.
Uh-oh, that's not good. All right.
What?
I attack. I mean, fit raise it in a friendly way or like?
Oh no.
No, okay, yeah. Yeah.
Let's get the party
Yeah.
started.
Yeah.
The way is open.
Yeah.
Soren is about to make the executive decision to negotiate with hostilities.
Oh, I think so now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jack already made that decision.
I was gonna say,
Duck
if he
for
didn't
cover.
do it, I wouldn't do it.
Diving for cover.
Maybe an attack roll.
Okay.
What are you attacking with?
With
The saber or the blaster?
yeah, no, not like that. No, I'll pull out the blaster.
Yeah.
Let it have one. The little hand one.
Do you
I don't think that would penetrate the outside of the ship. I mean, that's my primary
the
concern.
blaster?
Mm.
We'll see.
Yeah,
we might
holes
see.
in our newly
Right.
repaired ship.
Unlikely,
no.
but in the mode that it's in right now, who knows?
Yeah.
Have we haven't
Not a
still haven't
needler.
gone over and looked at these things in depth, have we?
No.
I was gonna say that's been on my to-do list. I gotta get down to that sometime.
It's always good to check your weapons for
Yeah.
their capacity or capabilities before
Yeah.
you
Oh,
Yeah.
before you
it
use
wasn't set
any
on stun,
willy-nilly.
It was set on nuclear annihilation.
I love the new ship too much. I try with the saber first.
Okay. Maybe maybe a little-
newly repaired ship.
I know, right?
15.
Okay, and you hit the space it's in, and you take 2 points of damage from the cold that ripples up your saber.
That is cold.
Do we see the frost or cold rippling up that, or just not?
You just saw it.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
so
Well,
And you saw the cold just, and
I
the blade was.
That's
You know,
really
you see
cold.
smoke even roll off the blade when it
Cold
happens.
enough to be visible.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's
In an
I think
already
we
cold
discovered
place.
The source of our cold.
Gosh, if this guy, I hope this isn't what their Anulare looks like. Maybe this is like the opposite.
So I do that, and then I step back. Say,
Initiative?
that's really cold.
Initiative.
Now it's initiative.
All right. I'm gonna give the bad die a chance to
There you
redeem
go.
itself. There you go. It can happen. 18.
Oh. Well, assuming that it wouldn't have had any effect anyway, just from my new archetype, that would have been an automatic critical hit if it struck it.
It wouldn't have struck it.
Okay.
What'd you get?
Yeah. I go
21.
first.
Jack, initiative number.
14.
18.
20.
Nice.
That's kind of funny.
I was gonna say, aren't you literally like triple gold?
I'm gonna
Fair
make.
enough.
I'm gonna make the executive's decision. You're still gonna go last.
I'm okay with this. I just have to
I just
roll
can't
well.
see. I just can't see it happening.
17.
Oh, fair enough.
All right, 21.
21. That is me.
Finally, you get to go first in a combat.
I know, right?
You never go
I
first.
just gotta roll well. That's all. It's fine. You always save the best for last. All right. I have seen that this Jack's saber has infused him with the cold, so I'm gonna just try and just like literally. Is Jack away?
Yeah, I stepped back.
Okay.
Yeah, you
I-
step back.
Yeah, because shotgun has a fun little cone in case I don't want him in the friendly fire. That's what I'm asking.
He would not be,
Okay, so I will attempt to
unless you get a critical one, like a critical miss.
yeah, just
Maybe.
wildly. No, all right. So I'm going to attempt to shoot with
That's
my
a nice
shotty.
long hold too. So
Shoot with my shotty, which I know for a fact probably won't penetrate the. 20, not a nat 20, just 20.
and it goes through this thing, and you can see like the smoke roll past, like an explosion through it, and it seems unaffected by it.
Well,
All right.
Kel.
Well, I am not sure exactly what can affect this, because I see them having little effect with their.
And it's still moving forward. It's not like
how close?
still
How close is it to us? Just as we're going to
20 feet.
Okay.
So I guess what I'll do is I'll use one of my new powers here. Bring it up. I am because it's whirl on one side and it's approaching us, right? So I'm going to create a gravity sphere on top of it and in the area behind it. That and the way this works is it has to make a save, and the area becomes difficult terrain, assuming it's able to affect it. I don't know if it will, but I thought maybe a gravity field might affect it differently. All right. It's an Esper power. We'll see. So, gravity field, the gravity sphere, it's a dexterity saving throw against DC 14, and on a failed save, the creature is restrained.
Yeah, it
and,
makes things heavy.
and on a successful save, it's still difficult terrain, so it should slow it down if it's able to be affected.
And you create the well behind it, and you see things in the room kind of start moving towards it, and you see it stop and start being pulled back towards the gravity well.
Ooh, nice.
I just figured out how many points I just spent because I was looking for that. This is my first rank 2.
3, I think.
Yep, that's great.
I'm not gonna
And as
do
it's
that, but that's very Melder.
Yeah,
as
right?
it's sliding back, you see its arms move out, and its smaller arms do something underneath, and you see these characters that you kind of recognize the language of open up into the space in front of him, and then the room goes black, except the glowing letters that he created in the space.
That's unpleasant. I'm going to keep concentrating on that sphere because it keeps her around for a minute or so.
All right. Does that bleed into the bay that I was in, the darkness?
Oh yeah.
All right. I'm going to try to. I've been trying to do this since 20. Actually, I just go last. Trying to exit the ambulator the little walker
Right.
that I'm attached to, back into that storage bay and make my way over to the closet that I found where I originally found the ambulator. And I want to grab one of the third legs, one of the canes. From
Okay. You can do that.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm just
Right there.
retreating, going in there, grabbing something that I can wield as possible self-defense.
And from the letters that are in the air, they're floating in circles. There's a circle in a circle, and then you see these little green glowing things start coming out all over the room, and they almost feel like or look like little creatures.
Ooh.
Sounds unpleasant.
Do any of them look suspiciously like centipedes?
No, they don't. They look more like greenish, glowing octopus, squid, like squid, like front. Not exactly like that, but they're
Very
tentacular.
cephalodic.
Yes.
Well,
Can I get a dex check from everyone?
Ooh.
can you ever?
Yeah, you bet.
You don't need to roll it.
Okay,
Not
because
back there.
yeah, I was hoping for some
19.
sort of cover.
12.
16.
Okay. What did you get?
19.
Okay, you're the only one that gets. One of them gets to where you are, and like a tentacle hits you, and you need to make a save.
Okay.
Versus cold, so a con save.
Bad. 6 or something.
Okay, you take 2 points of damage from the cold, and
Ah,
it is definitely unnaturally cold, and it feels like cold death.
I
Absolute
don't like that.
zero.
Okay.
Huh?
Beyond absolute zero.
Into infinity and beyond. That's right.
Okay.
That's unpleasant. Callus.
21.
Ah.
Can we? It is like pitch black. We cannot even
Oh.
see each other, right?
You can see where the characters are in front of
They give
where
off
this thing was.
luminescence.
Right, there's a little bit of luminescence. You can see it staying there.
And the
It
little,
seems to be incapable of moving forward, though.
the green things are
They're coming
visible,
out. Yeah.
and we can see that too. Kel, are these attackable any more than that thing was?
Well, did it pass through me or did it feel like I was impacted?
It felt you were like you were touched.
The thing just reached out and touched me. Feel free to return the favor.
So whose turn is it right now?
It is back to 21. It's your turn.
All right. To reload my shotgun if I want to use it. So, shoulder the shotgun, just collapsible shield, and activate the shock maul and move closer to Kel and just back up a bit and just try and get the thing off him with a smash on it.
Make me a roll.
Yes, sir. $17.
That'll hit.
So,
They're pretty quick though.
so 8 damage.
And you crush it. The thing, and the shock part seems to be doing what did more damage than the impact part.
If you have any energy weapons, anything of that sort, it is recommended that you employ them. As I believe these things are of a similar construct to our friend over there. And any of those force bolts might be useful in this endeavor.
Understood.
Jack.
How many of those are there? Like,
Looks like 6.
yeah, I'll pull out the blaster. Oh, sorry, ship. Shoot at one.
Shoot.
These things are glowing, right?
Yeah.
Glowing green, okay.
Any that are particularly close to them?
They're coming towards all of you.
Ooh, okay. 12.
That misses.
Okay. And I'd fall back a little.
Make me a perception check.
21.
You see a robot come out of that room that was back there
Okay.
and kick the walker out of the way. It's a walking robot,
Okay.
not a floating one. It's a bigger one. And you can see that it looks like it has some kind of a arm that has like an arc going between it. And it starts going towards the circles.
Okay. This is maybe as a
It's
ship
slow,
defense
but
or
maybe.
something.
All right, your turn. It's not there yet, but you can see it. It walked right past you.
But kick the walker didn't mean it didn't kick him though, right? 'Cause
No.
Well, I went back inside.
No, he was
left the
inside.
walker.
When I kicked the walker out, the doors closed.
After he comes out, they do.
Hope you can open him again.
Good for you. Right?
All right.
I was hoping for that.
He's quote unquote safe.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
Ish.
Yeah.
Safe-ish.
All right. So do I
Depends
shoot
how we
at
get
the
finished
question is,
off.
do I shoot at the guy in the circles, even though I have an idea where he is, but I can't see him, or do I shoot at one of the squid? Let's go with shooting at the guy in the circles. So that's gonna be can I see him enough to shoot or no?
Make me a perception check.
16.
You do see him, but he's not there anymore.
Oh,
He's in between you and Kel, and Soren,
okay.
and behind the robot. And he didn't walk there. He just appeared there.
Okay. So I have a line of sight on him though. The robot's
Yeah.
in the way. All right. Well, then I'm gonna take.
Yeah, it's between the two of you.
Okay, I'm gonna take a shot at him. Not you. At the one in between us, of course.
Please.
Natural 20.
Wow.
Nice. You hit. What are you shooting with?
Force bolt.
Okay.
So it's just a D10, but as a Melder Celestian background, I also get Cosmic Flux. So I do an additional 1d6 radiant damage, and he has to make a Wisdom save against me. Against 14.
Okay. He makes it.
All right. Well, never mind then. 11. Force damage. All right. Thank you.
And he gets hit, and you can tell it hits, and he disappears.
Uh-oh. As in, yeah, I don't just poof.
Yes.
Well, he was there a minute ago.
Right.
I
Your
nailed
turn.
him.
I will.
You see this thing appear in the room,
Oh,
Oh,
and it was the thing that was up there.
the four-armed shadow.
Yes.
How close is it to me? I'm out.
It's just inside the door.
Oh, well then I will back away.
Okay.
With my cane, I'll just hobble back towards my origin point.
And it just sort of turns like this. The robot starts to turn and look around, and it swings at one of the things in the air,
Ah!
and it hits the wall.
Oh.
It misses and hits the wall, and like you see it like this zap hit the wall. And
Electricity
in
arcs.
that little space, the ship stops being blurry for just a moment, and then it goes all blurry again. All right. We're back up to Soren.
Did you make a brief cry?
I did. I
Oh, okay.
exclaimed
Do
a
we hear
cry
that?
when
Do we
it
hear
was
that?
attacked.
You don't.
Okay.
Okay.
You would if the door was open.
Make a similar sound when it first seemed to appear.
So there's about 5 of these squid glowy
Yes.
things left.
Yep.
How close are they to each other? Wondering.
They don't seem to be attacking you guys anymore. They're moving towards the door where he was in.
Is it still dark, right? It's still perma darkness, right? Or-
Yes. But there's some light from the glowing letters and the creatures. So it's dim. You have night vision, right?
Yeah, I got it. Yeah, as long as there is some light, I can.
And I
see.
think you do too, don't you?
Jack's the only one who's.
I didn't know if it was
Yeah,
magic,
so-
Esper darkness or what.
Everybody but
every
humans.
race except for
Everybody
yeah.
but humans. Yeah.
Boring human.
But we probably see color better, right?
Yeah.
Don't we get that at least, don't you think?
I see in black and white when it's dark.
Right.
all right. So
We see the blackness in many more shades of dark.
Maybe.
Or not.
all right. I make my tell you what, can I make a perception to try and hear that cry from in there? Just like, because I'm just like scanning the room looking for.
Okay, I'll let you try.
Yeah, because
you're near enough.
There's enough clues there that I could
Yeah.
say that I.
I mean, you knew what direction he had blinked from and to.
Yeah, and we see where the squid are going.
Yeah.
There was other noise in there when you hit the wall.
19. I'm in combat mode here.
Yeah, you think you hear it in there.
Okay, and the squid, the creatures, they seem to be going for the door. I begin making my way to the door and just jam the button to open it.
And it opens, and you see that thing right in front of you.
Oh, that.
Swing. Okay.
I'm also going to use my first use of my stunt die for what's known as the flash burst. Assuming
Okay.
Assuming
cool.
it hits. I'll explain what it does.
Okay.
Commando maneuver.
Yep, it's commando maneuver.
Cool.
He just got the use of it.
Oh yeah, of course. Level
He's
3.
been practicing it though for a long time
Of course.
in preparation
Yeah,
for.
you have to practice.
Training. It's all about the training.
What you calling? 12.
And it hits the area he's in,
Mm-hmm.
and when you do it, it does damage. You can roll your damage.
Can I? Okay, so let me roll my damage, and then I'll do my stunt die because I think it's applicable in the situation.
Okay, do it.
I can find the one die.
It was just standing still in front of you.
8 damage, and then I'm going to roll my d8 for the flash burst. Upon a successful hit from a melee or ranged attack, you can unleash a burst of energy on the target.
Awesome.
You add your stunt die to the target's damage roll, and the target must make a dex saving throw, or become blinded until the end of its turn.
It misses its save.
Nice.
And it does an additional 7 damage.
Nice.
So just like a big crackle of lightning just lights up and arcs everywhere.
There you go, Odinson.
And you hit something. It goes through. It continues through, but it was definitely more impactful than air. And it turns towards you and disappears into you. And you feel this horrible cold take over. And you see his arms lift up and turn towards you. And then you hear a scream, like a blood-curdling scream. And you see this thing exit out of your body from the back of you. And it goes, and it just disappears into a wall and goes another, a different direction.
Ouch, so it passed through you.
Yeah.
Well, that was unpleasant.
Did I take any damage from that?
You did not.
Okay. So
You may need to see a psychologist about it, though.
I still need to see a psychiatrist about many things.
Yeah, right. Put it on the list.
On the list.
Which wall did it, was it heading in a particular direction on the ship towards something
Back
else?
into the room further. There are little partitions and stuff.
So back in, so it's still in the area of the hold.
Yeah,
It's not
still in the room.
because I have this paranoia. that
Actually,
it's gonna-
you can still see it. There's a partition, and it's on the other side of the partition.
In the bay that I'm in?
Yeah, in the room you're in.
I'll wipe the frost and ice off my as best I can. Just trying to get it off.
No, if you weren't cold-hearted before.
It didn't feel like it was trying to pass through you.
It didn't.
It did not.
Hmm.
It felt different.
Is the darkness still in effect, or is that just gone?
It's out in that room, but it is fading. You're starting to get light back in that room. And those creatures go past you towards the partition in the room.
Ooh.
Jack, you just saw this crazy thing happen right in front of you.
I'm gonna try and go to where it looks like the squid are going.
Okay, they're in the room, and you have to. He's in the room right at the door, so you'll have to get past him. Or, he's starting to move towards you
Okay,
too. So,
yeah.
so you're
I
flooding
can.
into the room behind him.
Yeah,
with
like
him.
I'll try and go around to see.
And
if
you
I
see
can
him over in the corner with a cane, and in the corner, kind of like
huddled against the
Right.
light device.
right. What are you doing?
Similar. I'm gonna follow them in, but if that's where the squid is going, and that's where I saw the thing shoot out of him and back into that room, I guess I can drop the gravity sphere because that. I'll keep it up there because that's between us and the front of the ship. So if it wants to head that direction,
it blocks the hallway.
It'll slow it down. So I'm gonna keep that up, and I'm gonna enter, and I'll kind of gesture for my drone, which I forgot about. And I'll have it zoom in that direction too, around the corner. So I'm gonna follow that.
Okay.
I'm assuming that takes enough of my movement that I won't be able to get there.
Soren, yeah, you won't get there.
Yeah.
You're up.
Oh,
hold on a second. Hold on.
I was gonna say, could you skip our mysterious cash friend?
I'm cowering right now.
Fair enough.
If nothing else, I'm ready to
Jack,
swing
one
my
of those
cane.
things brushes past you and hits you.
Squid.
Yep.
Is it?
You take 1 point of damage. It just brushes against you with the tentacle as it's heading past you.
Okay. The drifting jellyfish.
Yep. Well, they move faster than that, but
Well, I just mean like when you swim on by. I don't know why you'd be swimming next to
Right,
jellyfish,
right.
but still.
Yeah, bad decision.
and you see the thing appear right in front of you.
Can I swing? Because that's what I was.
You
said
can
I was
try and swing.
readying, you know,
Yep. The cane.
Yeah, the cane.
Divine.
And I'm
Yeah,
holding a total of 12.
And you hit the air in front of you, and it's really cold.
Ah!
And you take 2 points of damage.
Is this cold damage?
Yes. Oh, you may not take cold damage, right?
No, but
You
I
do.
can mitigate it, but I won't bother with this.
Okay.
This time.
And then it disappears into him.
Oh,
You see it,
we
it
see
just
that?
like move into him and then disappear.
So it moves into him.
Yes.
We do not like this. This is very confusing.
It feels like cold death.
Yes, it does
Tastes like
for you.
expired coffee.
Yes.
Bottom of the pot.
Yeah, bottom.
15 hours.
So yeah, I look like I'm.
You look stronger all
I
of a
might-
sudden.
Yeah.
Oh,
Also, like I might vomit.
Oh.
This is disturbing.
Do you have any ideas on
Jack.
any ideas?
Ooh. It's in him?
What looked
You
like
got anything
The
you
green
can
little
do there,
things
Cal?
fade out into the air. They
All right.
disappear.
Uh,
And you know that is likely because he's doing something else that's taking his
Concentration.
yes. Yeah, not he.
if I
So it's
see,
fair to assume he's a. It's fair to assume at this point that he is some sort of Esper of some sort.
It's a good
Yeah.
assumption, yes. You could have probably told that from the glowing lights
Oh,
and words
I'm
and
sure,
space
but I
and
mean,
things like that.
Esper effects.
Yes,
I mean, there are plenty of weird things that happen that are not related.
it's true.
To Espers, so, at this point, this is just the nail in the coffin to figure it out.
can I attempt to do non-lethal damage to him?
Hit the old man.
We're going
Okay,
to.
it's still inside me.
We're gonna beat up Linda Blair
He's
to
not
get the
old
ghost
looking.
out.
He doesn't look old. He just looks weak.
Weak.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I made an assumption.
His eyes start to glow.
Well, I had a walker.
His eyes start to
my,
glow?
my limbs are missing
Yeah.
muscle mass.
You were in
I'm
state-
wearing
yeah.
basically a hospital gown.
So I had this
Please,
elderly.
yeah.
please
image.
roll to beat the absolute
you're right.
living daylights out of Linda Blair.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
there you
two
go.
that I understand. Old Keshian.
The demon
I
leaves
see.
happily knowing it. You beat it. You beat it. It's
Yeah, I know,
It's
that's-
possessy.
That's the downside. Oh well. Yeah, I'll move.
This ship should not be here. You here only.
Oh,
Me only?
Yep.
Can I identify what language that's in?
It's like words from that language, that Atorian, from the Atorian language, enough that you can hear that.
I'll relay that. I'm gonna shout like, I don't think he likes it. Likes us the ship being here.
Who is he?
The thing, the old Atorian. I'm gonna shout back. Why not?
Destroy it.
We are in.
And then you start running towards the door,
Right.
like in between them.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh,
Can I make a attempt to basically just like catch?
sure. You don't have to roll.
Oh, okay.
He's just making a beeline right for the door. I mean, you just catch him.
I mean,
you run surprisingly fast all of a sudden.
Confused by ghost juice right now.
Right. He runs faster than you would have thought.
Surprisingly spry.
Yeah.
He's fast. Catch.
Yeah, exactly. And you grab him, and he's surprisingly strong too. That was unexpected. He pulls you back a little bit, and then he turns. You want to make a punch?
Sure. Oh, I rolled a 18 on the die.
Wow.
He punches you.
That's gonna hit.
That'll hit you.
Yeah.
Pretty sure, right?
Yeah. No. Yeah. I got a
What's your-
16.
16.
The shield isn't. The riot shield isn't out. So.
Yeah.
And I don't get my dex because of the armor. So
Right.
he socks me good in the jaw.
Roll your
It's
punch.
one for a punch.
Yeah, it's one per
plus
punch,
the
right,
strength of whatever
Yeah,
I
you don't have that.
right
You have a
now.
minus, actually.
Well, I normally have a minus.
You do. Right now, you don't have a minus.
Yeah, okay, so it's one.
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 But it hurts you probably as
Whoa.
much as it hurts
One.
him.
So I am
I'm
now.
a fighter.
It's a jab.
And he keeps trying to get through.
Can I cold cock him with the pommel of the saber?
You can.
Okay.
You can try.
You're going down, buddy.
Hey, man,
This is a bad way to wake up, in
Yeah.
your
Should I
shit.
respond to that with a reaction?
You can try and avoid it.
No, I have a reaction for when I take damage.
Okay.
It's called psychic backlash.
Yep.
You have to do it.
Do it.
Uh-oh.
I mean, if you hit me,
Yeah, hit him.
11?
that would not ordinarily hit me.
No, what? I don't think it would.
I have enough of a dex that my armor class is 13.
Yeah.
Even in a hospital.
And even it's a little higher right now, actually.
Yeah.
Good look.
Okay.
Just give me 5 minutes and choke him out. Like I
And,
usually
Okay.
and somebody swings at you and doesn't hit, but your body under someone else's control dodges it and continues to try and cut through. Soren, make me a strength roll.
I can do that.
Strength check.
I can do that very well. He said as he now was about to roll. from that
Yeah,
first
right.
one.
Don't jinx it.
10.
And it breaks free.
Yeah.
It's
he-
strong.
Caught off guard and strong by punch and strong. I expected an old man, and I got a pretty decent haymaker.
Yeah. And that means that the only person between the rest of the ship and it is Kel.
Stop him!
I always love to see that.
Use
When someone
brute
says
force.
that.
Yeah.
Guys. Is it my turn?
It is.
All right. Well, that's fantastic.
Use your gravity.
Your
Center of your gravity.
My gravity power.
No, your gravity.
Do you have to maintain concentration for that?
Yeah.
I'm gonna give him tips.
Oh.
I'm trying to
Kill,
tell him to
blast
use his
it.
mass.
Yep.
Blast. Okay.
Yep. Shift your body weight.
I'm sorry, stranger.
Don't shoot him.
And I kind of do one of these, and my little bonded companion comes over and bumps him into the head. So I'm shooting, and the bonded companion is helping. I promise I'll heal you up once we get that guy out of you. Force bolt.
It's
Even if it's a miss.
No, I've been rolling like
A 1 and a 6.
Oh.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, that
With
misses.
advantage. So that's
Hits the ship.
that's a 12.
Yeah.
I had to roll a 7 or higher. To hit
He
you.
spryly
On 2
he
dice.
spryly jumps over the shot. And can you make me a dex check at your normal dex?
18.
And he jumps and he's pulled towards the gravity in his jump.
Right.
And then he's like fighting to get out of it.
So it's still difficult terrain, but it isn't. You're not restricted.
Right. You can move, but it's hard.
I can do more.
All right, back
Not
to
all
the
these
top.
come down.
All right.
Soren.
Yes. All right. So we got him, who's currently he's still where he is, or he got pulled back.
He got pulled sideways towards the gravity well.
But he's
He's
powering through it.
So
he's powering through it. He's moving, but he's not out.
At this point, there's enough. A good sock in the jaw, the ability to jump over. It's pretty sure to us, at least right at this point. It's a good assumption that he is not as a frail old man like we think, right?
Not as frail as he
Not,
appeared.
not as frail as he appeared.
Yeah, no
Correct.
longer needs that walker.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna do a running tackle. Just
Okay.
literally just
Do it.
just gonna try and like literally just a QB sneak, just sack him. 9. That's a 9. Can I do something?
Is it a commando maneuver?
No, that's me just running in, like going for a grapple.
So I oppose with athletics or acrobatics then?
Yes, I believe so.
All right.
Except your back's turned.
So I'm
Because you're running towards the hall.
Does that impose disadvantage for a grapple?
You're pretty single-minded right now. I'll give you a check. You can check. You can do it.
12. So greater than your roll.
Yeah.
Using acrobatics, not athletics.
He moves out of the way, just barely.
Yeah. So use athletics, it would not have worked.
But you're right there.
I'm just, you know what? I'll take it. I'll use my action surge. To
Okay.
Just like he just moves out of the way, and I'm just gonna try and reach out and catch him again.
Do it.
Which is another grapple?
Yes.
Right.
I'm burning things. Can I do, I have a combat stunt here called Extra Drive. Give yourself a boost to your physical prowess. Add your stunt die to a simple strength or dexterity-based skill check.
Nice.
Can I do that?
Do
for
it.
this?
Yep.
So I'm burning through everything I've got just to get hold of a big old man catch.
Very commando.
That's what they're for, yeah.
Okay.
That's great
so
power.
Here's my grapple.
I oppose with acrobatics.
Sir.
And you'll probably get it.
You got that?
Well,
5, 6, 7, 8, and the stunt. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So
I got a 12, so it was
Yeah,
stuff that
like-
did it.
just as he's about to wiggle out, I was just like, nope. Just like a bear hug.
Okay. And make me a wisdom check.
Okay. 12.
And Soren disappears, and he collapses to the ground.
Oh.
You appear in the hallway, holding on to this creature who turns at you. I'll be back for you, and he steps sideways into this blackness.
Oh no, you don't. No, you don't.
That is a jumper.
Why do I always disappear into mysterious places? It happens on the planet. It happens in my own. I mean, if I weren't already a paranoid mess, I'd be even more of a paranoid mess.
And the door just disappears.
Oh, so I'm just in the hallway now.
You're in the hall.
No. Ooh, this is not
Make me
good.
perception checks. Actually, you can see down the hall.
Let's try this
You
one.
see him in the hallway.
That's the
He
die.
just
should've rolled
appeared out of nowhere,
Me too.
and you're not sure how you know where you are.
I'm very confused.
We see everything.
And you don't know how you got there.
No.
You
Oh,
were
that's right.
What misgivings have been brought upon mine own?
I hear it from
Yes.
the other room.
what?
You deserve to catch
26 perception.
you see
Yeah.
down the hall, and you see that thing appear with him holding on, and it sidesteps into the hole.
Huh?
I got a 20.
You can see it. You see it, that happen.
Oh, so
But
I'm in,
you're just confused as to
I'm
how
very,
that
very
happened.
concerned.
so I'm in the hallway of the ship. Not
Yeah, so
the
the ship,
spectral
not
hall.
right, not the spectral.
Okay, I thought I was trapped in the spectral
No,
hall.
no, no, the hull of the ship.
A little more familiar.
A little bit.
Yeah, I'll just go running over in that direction, and no sign of the darkness, the circular runes, the squid,
And
any of that.
no, and the ship starts to unblur.
Status ship.
The threat is disappeared.
We saw that.
Ship, nature of threat.
Dimensional being.
Soren gives a sort of tired, roll your eyes look.
Ship, I was under the impression that there were no more living Atorians.
I think
That was not a living Atorian. That was the soul of a dead Atorian, of a deceased Atorian. I wouldn't say dead.
Atorian ghosts.
like Zoinks school.
No,
Like Zoinks Kilrin.
Does that make me Velma?
No, I think
Totally
you're,
Velma. You are.
I think so. I can live with that.
You are the Velma.
I'm a big Shaggy. Everyone loves Shaggy.
All right. Well, I guess I'm gonna go back in the hallway. Everyone okay?
Yeah.
I'm trying
He's
to right
he's not
myself.
okay.
Yeah, I'm
He's
like
weak. And
collapsed on the floor. I'm trying to find something that I can pull myself up with.
I mean, can I give him medical
Yeah.
attention if he needs it?
Yep.
I don't know if you need me to roll for that or just.
You don't need
know
to.
how cash physiology works?
Well, I did minor in xenobiology, back at
Yes.
the institute.
Yes, we have heard. So we have heard of many times.
Well, I can
Very
tell you
similar
all
to the
about
Traveler Jack of all trades for medicine.
There you go. That's there.
Can you apply that to combat medicine?
Well, I know how to patch a wound, I guess, but no.
Okay, let us try it.
I'll see if I can do that. I was like, well, am I able to identify what's wrong with him? I mean, I the player.
You
have
can
got an
most
idea.
certainly identify. He's atrophied.
He woke up. He was in some sort of stasis or something.
Maybe that's what it looks like.
I also have a little cold damage.
Yeah.
And it has
Yeah.
cold damage. By the way, where you have the cold damage, the skin is black, where you were struck by the things.
Yeah. My robe.
Mm.
Huh.
Well, I'll run into
And
that.
where you were hit, like on the arm, it's black. The skin is literally black.
I guess seeing that
Yours too.
we ran into that room, so I saw was it like did it have medical facilities in there? The room that was.
Maybe an intelligence check.
I'm distracted today. That's only 9.
You're not sure what was in there.
Okay.
It was
I'm going to
seemed like
There's a medical
mess.
bay. Let's
Yeah,
go.
I could run to the medical bay
Yeah.
just to get medical supplies for everybody.
I reload my shotgun.
Okay,
Mm.
just in case.
Yeah, I'm assuming that the threat is gone for now. Perhaps foolishly.
So how
No,
does one
he did not make
damage?
a foolish threat. He did, however, make a threat upon upon our persons.
How does one damage an Esper's soul? That's the first I've encountered one of those.
Yeah, that's
I believe this is new ground for all of us.
Yeah, I didn't know there were such things.
Souls or espers?
The former.
Both.
Yeah. Right.
Regardless, we should see to our guest to make sure that he is
Right.
stable.
I'll go into the med bay and I just a world question. There's not like universal translators in this
Yeah, there are.
setting. Are there?
There's chips.
Should be, yeah.
Chips. Okay.
Yeah, so a lot of people have chips. Chip slots for in the back of their neck where they can put in a couple things like language translators and stuff like that.
Those are siren, though, I believe, for the most part.
Well,
Boots is, I think.
Oh yeah, boots.
And actually, Jack is now too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Jack's
Totally.
you do?
How could I forget that?
Well, anyway, we should get some old cash booted up into this old cash in.
Yeah.
Chips.
He needs
Yeah, I'll be getting med supplies to treat to see if I can help our atrophied guest and our own cold wounds.
Yeah, the medical bay it's set up for that kind of stuff.
Okay.
I will help our guest with a gentle but firm hand in case something else happens.
He's bruised up, like where you grabbed him and held him. He's taken bruising, and there are places where when he was running and he was bouncing through you guys, it looks like he took bruises just from less aggressive contact than you would have thought.
So, I make a. Is he on the floor or standing up?
He's standing
I
up.
was at least righted by Cal.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
check me out.
Kel would keep him up.
Yeah, have him sit or something if necessary.
Yes. Well, lead him to the medical bay.
Yep.
Then I'll have to help me.
Yeah, right.
I make a. Just carefully try and lead him.
I acquiesce to any
Yeah.
aid.
When you look at him, you realize he's not really old. He actually looks like a fairly young, but sickly Kesh.
All right. Well, I have a first aid kit, but we got medical stuff.
It's hard to tell with Cash.
Yeah, it kind of goes with the whole.
I'm an adult.
Yeah.
I've
The
got.
fake ID.
I'm not
Just
doing the
like-
gravity sphere anymore, but I will bring back Decipher languages in case he needs to communicate.
You
anything
sure
for a
you're
while.
158? Because you look 122. I don't know. That's something to come out later, if at all. That is what we call
I'm
the
over 50, which is normal for an
Well, once I'm finished with the medical, I would want to check the computer sensor logs and try to identify what the hell that was.
I'm gonna do a brief sweep of the ship just to see if there's no
Okay.
other surprises. Do a security sweep.
Where are you sweeping?
Basically going down the corridors, looking for any open rooms, making note of any rooms that weren't open, but are open now, for any ancient, emaciated cache, the souls of dead Autorians, giant centipedes from extra-dimensional spaces, or anything else of note that was not there when I got boarded this ship.
And along the hallway, you'd find nothing like that.
Good.
Maybe a few bearings from your shotgun blast rolled into the hall.
Good. Pick those up. Gotta keep the ship clean.
Yeah.
Right.
Just get my tweezers out.
Send out the space
Up
room.
all my buckshot.
You want to go question the ship computer?
I'd like to do that.
Yeah.
We should probably take a peek in that hidden room too.
Oh yeah.
Let us. Our guest is comfortable.
I'll do one of these, like, hang in there.
Yeah, just recline wherever I'm set.
We might need to get a chip. Do we have any of those? Is that something the computer or the ship would have in storage? I don't know how common those things are.
What?
The translation chips.
We probably need to go buy one somewhere.
Yeah, you have to get one. You don't have it there.
Yes.
There's a lot we
This
can buy.
the ship has.
I've
a
got
lot.
an idea for that though.
The ship has a lot. However, I don't think it has archaic cache.
Right. That was the other thing I was
translation
going to say. Even if we had the chips, it wouldn't.
Especially if we found out that literally the youngest race is the Belwari, is the known
Balari.
Belari.
Yeah, that's the.
For some reason, I would say Belwari. The W.
Yeah.
It throws me off.
All right. So, yeah. What's the computer have to say about it? What does the computer have to say for itself?
Yeah.
Does it have any information, like any analysis of what the where the dimensional being came from or went to?
That was Takori Ardanis.
Well,
He
there we
was. He tried to prevent the ship from taking off, and was killed in the perimeter of the Esper abilities of the ship.
No doubt he is one of the factions that oppose the peace faction. This Artorian schism.
Yeah. Does that seem reason? Is that right, computer?
That is correct.
Opposed the 3-child. So you say he died in the perimeter of the. Could you run by that one more time? In the perimeter of the Esper powers of the ship.
That's correct.
The ship has Esper powers, and
It does have a brain.
it died. That person died here, and because that person died here during an Esper event, its soul is trapped or something.
Perhaps
It has been known to be bound.
Oh my gosh, guys, we have a haunted ship.
Awesome. Ghost ship. I
Yeah,
knew it.
I think we need a rename here. Well, what are we? We're the Shadow Wrap? Maybe we need to do the Ghost
And the
Wrap.
meditation.
Ghost
what-
Shadow
That's
Raptor.
covering it. Yeah. The
Yeah.
ghost shadow raptor. Oh, there we go.
Just keep adding
Yeah.
words.
Yeah, stuff happens every time.
Every time.
Eventually, it sounds like a Norwegian name.
Yeah.
Eventually,
88 characters long.
Eventually, we'll get to either that weird Welsh name or that weird African name. It's just like syllables of
Right.
100 letters long. And the name was Takori Ardanis, is that right?
Ardanis, yes.
And why does he not want the ship to be here? And oh, by the way, where's here?
You're just in space and not far from the deep wind.
Yeah, we like just
Yeah, but
barely left the deep
in
wind.
which dimension exactly?
Yeah.
We are in dimension.
Be anywhere.
1A, yeah.
Maybe he wanted the ship just to destroyed.
We thought of it as dimension B.
Because remember, this was the one where it was.
Yeah.
His name wasn't.
You're in B at the moment.
His name isn't Carrie Good. His name is.
No, his name is
Corey.
Corey instead of Corey.
Right. It should be.
I
Corey.
knew
Oh
Corey.
yeah, that's right.
We're
The
not-
excitement. Soren forgot about the existential terror.
Yeah, we're not in the right
Right.
dimension.
He,
Right now.
he needs combat to keep his mind off of
There you
crippling,
go.
Alright.
crippling fear.
So where did you? Does the computer? Do you know where Takori Ardanis's Esper ghost is right now?
It went to the in-between.
In between.
Hmm.
So I'm gonna want some reading recommendations, computer, on some nouns you've been using. In between.
Yeah.
While we're at it, emissar would be nice. Is the opening that was unbarred to the in-between?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm barred in my room.
Okay. And is the in-between a construct, or is that somewhere that's a naturally occurring location?
It has always existed.
But the Atorians have spent some time there.
They did not until Anilare.
Does Anilare take them? Is Demisar in the in-between?
It trapped those who remained.
In the in-between?
Yes.
Trapped those that remain. Those Atorians that remained are trapped in the in-between. Okay. And when Takori Ardana says the ship shouldn't be here, did he just mean it shouldn't exist, or does he have some reason to not want the ship?
He opposed the ship and the mission.
Oh, it shouldn't be like in this galaxy at all.
It should not exist.
Should not exist.
We are going to go to the room that he was formerly in. The one where we found him.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah.
I'd like to know either was he in a cryo tube or did he just get snatched from a...
Who's going?
Oh, I am. So I informed them of my intent to go there.
Oh, we sure go.
I mean, if I'm just talking to the computer, I can do that in any room.
Yeah,
Right.
just walking.
Well, what about your cash? You're gonna leave him back
We're going to lock him in the medical room.
Okay.
I mean,
Oh,
Let
maybe
him
I'll
chill.
remain with our
it's in
patient.
the middle.
Yeah, I'll remain with our patient.
Oh,
very well.
Okay.
And say, just
I'll
stay
go
in
with you.
communication. What do you see? You know,
We will alert you to any.
how
danger.
far? I mean, it's less than 100 feet away.
Yeah.
So I'll just send I'll send my bonded companion with it,
oh, cool.
so I can see through its
Yeah,
eyes.
just walk.
You see this guy has this little ball that sort of floats around him,
Right,
and
a
it
robot.
leaves him and goes with them.
Yeah, Robotron. I think
Yep.
I saw them before.
But a
My
tiny
girlfriend.
Kind of like the Foreman one.
Yes.
What?
What do you make of our
Nothing.
cash?
It's not for you.
Not for me. Okay, fair.
Or my intro.
Some odd dimensional drop off, I guess.
Mm,
Seems to be probably not even from now.
time travel and alternate universe.
It's getting weirder.
Exciting.
And you get to the door,
We are putting our mind before he pushes the button. We are putting our pupils on a cryo sleep. Click.
and the door slides. And there are a bunch of robots in there, including that big robot that had come out is in there now. And it looks like a disaster area.
Hmm.
And there are cryo tubes all over the place, all of them damaged except one. And it looks like there are some body parts around in here, like that.
Are they mummified or skeletal at this point?
They seem to be
Or are they fresh?
fresh frozen.
When I say fresh, I mean do they still do they have meat on them? Is what I'm asking.
Yes.
Okay.
Whoa.
And there are robots in here cleaning up at the fastest pace it can, and there are a bunch of floating drones. The one big one is doing structural repairs to this room.
The undamaged one, does that look empty or full?
It's
still?
empty.
Empty.
We believe we have ascertained the origin of our new guest.
Well, I see. There seems to be a tube over there. Is there a screen on the? We can look at readout and see how long that guy's been in there.
We will investigate.
The only lights in here are the red emergency lights.
I'll turn on.
It seems like there's no power in here anymore, except one cryo tube that had some.
I'll turn on my flashlight.
Oh, you have red lights. I mean, it's not like it's
Oh, okay.
like nothing.
Computer, how long has that room been non-functional?
Since the antimatter explosion.
Oh.
How many lives were lost in that explosion?
I cannot ascertain that. It is a separate system.
I'm gonna look at the
Interesting.
parts. I want to try and ascertain species. Are they all cash?
No, there's no cash in there,
No cash.
but there are
Like anything that I would think.
There's no Bellari, but there are
Well, I wouldn't know what a
all the
Bellari
other species that you know of that are major species, and some others that are minor ones that you don't know.
I don't think I know a Bellari if I
And-
knew it.
And all of them, like, it looks like a beam came down and crushed a bunch of them in the middle, and like all kinds of damage happened in this room, like all over the place. But the robots have been cleaning it up. They've been cleaning up all the glass. There's glass everywhere, and liquids, and
That explains the drone coming in and going and dumping the waste.
Mm-hmm.
Pick up one of the hands.
I can't see your display, can I?
No, it's
Okay,
it's mental. Yeah, you're spared this.
Hmm.
It could have been you.
Tosses the hand. No. I am many things. I am not gone that far. Gently puts the hand down.
Cool.
Do you need a hand with
So your
Computer.
attempts at humor are too late.
When were
All right.
these samples taken? When were the people placed in the tubes?
I don't have access to the information in that system. It's a separate system.
We are aware that there are some races of which we know, and many of which we do not.
Looks like somebody took samples of the existing sentient races in the area.
The colony ship.
Remember that we learned that there was some sort of uplift project.
Yeah, this may be related to that.
Are they uplifted from the former black hole? What galaxy? Do we know what galaxy the big black hole is? No, it's just one up there.
No.
They're the Itorians' former galaxy, and these are the results, a arc of sorts, or perhaps they were samples along the way.
Perhaps maybe they did the uplifting here. We're not sure.
Hmm.
We don't know. All I know is from the text is that they uplifted the Eldorian Dendus and eventually the rest of the races in this galaxy.
That is what we
Although
wonder.
the Bellari, I believe, were they're like assistants. But they themselves don't remember that. Apparently. Just reviewing my notes.
Pokes a piece of roll.
I'm gonna go question the computer. Computer, what use did the former pilots make of, and I'll describe the effect where there's like multiple, kind of pick where you go, like choose your dimension?
The probability.
To what end was that function utilized?
It allowed the Atorians to move to places unseen.
A backdoor stealth.
Okay.
We wonder if we return.
Among other things.
Did they ever use it to select for more useful states of affairs?
The ability's been used in many ways was used in many ways by the Atorians to their final detriment.
We wonder if many things. We had a question, a query. We have lost it.
Actually, there's also no Ashenforged in that group.
I would assume so. There was none, as
Right.
the Ashenforged are, at least in the galactic timescale, a relatively recent development.
Yeah, created by Dendus, I'm sure, after much more recently than the ship.
Yep.
Yeah, that's sort of what I figured. I mean, if I saw one, that would raise many questions.
All right. Well, I guess
Make me a perception check on what you're seeing in the room.
for everyone who's looking. Or
He's really in there with his
Okay.
hands in it and stuff.
sure.
And somebody else's hand.
Somebody else's hands in it. Yeah.
6.
Okay.
I know. We were rolling hot tonight, boys.
I guess the computer's capable of having multiple conversations at once.
Absolutely.
So while they are asking their questions, I would just be asking for more. You're asking about this weird probability engine. I would be asking about this dimension, this in between, and what it is, and
The in between is the space you exist when slipping dimensions.
Okay, so has it been mapped? I'm thinking in celestial cartography terms here.
As far as anyone knows, it is unmappable.
So it's more of a state of being than a location, is that what you're saying?
It exists in between everywhere.
That's puzzling. And then I'll ask about, well, how did other than just using it to go from one dimension to the other, did the Artorians use it for anything else? Did they put bases there? Did they have a religious significance for them?
It was used in every way that they could think of to use it.
Okay.
I'm gonna,
So we could find the planet that's made out of platinum.
as I'm picking,
Yeah.
as I'm
I
picking
like
through
it.
the corpses and things, I'm gonna take a look at their clothes. Like
No clothes.
No clothes.
They're all naked.
All naked. All right. Because I was gonna say, look for any thing like scientist, religious leader, security.
Well, the room has some white lab coats
Okay.
hanging on a wall with
Okay.
four arm sleeves.
Those are probably for
The Artorians, right? And outside of that, there's very little that's visible, other that you can
Yeah.
make out anything with.
I'm just trying to use context clues here to figure out. So, obviously, these creatures, specimens, either picked up, transported from the Doomed Galaxy to this one, or picked up along the way. Or something along those lines.
I guess over the speaker or the communicator, Calvin would ask you guys, do you see any computers that if we got power to, maybe would have information?
We were looking around the tubes to see if there was any.
The area
data
looks
displays.
unpowered now, but perhaps.
It looks like it will take some time, regardless, to repair and clean this up.
So I feel like this is one of those. There's an important question. I'm not asking things.
We put a pin in it, as they say on Terra.
And one of the robots picks up a hand and puts it into a box, along with other stuff, and it goes to the garbage disposal.
Was it the hand I was playing with?
No.
Okay.
Maybe.
Oh.
Could have been.
I'm just trying to keep track of what's going on here. We are very confused. We are making our way back. We feel as if we have done what we can here for the moment. Perhaps when the bay is not in such a state of disrepair, we can glean more from it. But we believe we have taken all we can. We wish to try and interrogate our Kesh friend.
Well, good
as
luck.
best we can.
While they're doing that, I'm playing 20 questions with the ship.
Okay.
The new controls that are at. What
Okay.
does this do? What does this do? What the old pilot uses for? How does this work?
Well, there are
Just-
some controls to do things that seem to transcend space-time, but you don't understand exactly how they work.
Leave that alone. Can we move that display up here? We'll just. Yeah.
Don't
And-
accidentally push that button.
Yeah.
And the ship has capabilities that are unusual. Like you don't quite understand what they're supposed to be doing.
Like the defense system. And what defense system activated? What did that do? How did it interact?
It tells you that it went into an in-between state to prevent this creature from moving from the ship to reality.
Ah.
So the ship.
Oh, so you quarantined us with the creature?
Yes,
Ah,
it did. You
thank you.
quarantined everyone.
So the ship is not only capable of stealth as we know it, but capable of evasion via slipping into this in-between.
Now, why did you do that, Ship? Was that a command or a command from anyone, or was that just your judgment?
I made a decision.
Some protocols in play.
It is an AI.
Yeah, but a pretty sophisticated one. That's a good decision, Ship. What other decisions might you make that could potentially endanger us as your living inhabitants? Just curious.
I would do everything I can to keep you from being endangered. You are the crew of the ship.
Ah,
You're my crew.
Sorry.
we like you too, Ship.
I'm sorry, Jack.
We like you a lot.
Sorry, Jack. I can't let you do that.
Yeah, I know. Here it comes. ship. I'll keep that in mind.
I'll ask if the computer has a glossary of Keshian languages.
Yes,
Does it have an old Keshian?
it does.
I enter
It
into
has
the med
really
bay.
old Keshian.
A really old Keshian, I'm gonna say, yeah.
We enter into the med bay.
Yeah, you go in,
Yeah.
and he's in there, and he's like just watching you guys.
In my white
Yeah, I'll come
Victorian
back.
lab coat.
So maybe
There are other clothes in there.
so we
that
could get him
You could put him in.
other clothes.
Let us get him some other clothes. We do not wish to see the Keshian anatomy this
So-
closely.
Well, so I've got I'm searching through the glossary of Keshian. And now every once in a while you hear me trying to say a word that is in your language, and it's like greetings and friend, and
But do
And
you
it-
still have the decipher language ability?
Yes, I
going?
put it-
Does
yeah.
Yeah, I'll respond in kind.
yeah. So I'm slowly piecing together. Imagine you're like a tourist looking
Yeah,
Yeah.
like literally like
bathroom.
how do you
right?
how bathroom?
Yeah. Getting clothes.
Howith.
Be patient.
Yeah.
Howith. Howsoever shalt thou.
Yeah.
Right, so
Well, let's.
beginning.
Can,
that
can you
process.
ask him?
What is your name?
Name.
Maroliaris.
This is Maroliaris. All right. I name Kelrin. Soren.
Soren.
Jack.
Soren. We will spare him the numerals for now.
Computer.
There you go. That's the computer. And then I don't know if that. I'll be playing translate.
I wait for a chime when I say that.
You don't
Because I've
hear
heard
it.
people say it enough.
Right.
Then
Oh,
there's
yeah.
a voice.
Right.
You
Well,
don't
that-
get a voice.
You're not in the crew.
He's not registered.
And we're not going to say you were in the crew
Yeah.
just yet
Yeah.
for some reason. I don't know you.
Space. Space him now.
Space him.
Yeah, I know.
So yeah, I'm sure. I imagine this process I'm describing will take some time. So that's probably what Kelleran will be doing for a while, establishing a basic rapport.
Tell him clothes. We have clothes.
I'm not actually using a paper book. Swiping
Yeah.
through the.
Well, there are paper books. Remember?
Oh, there
there
were.
are in the other room. Yeah.
Well, one
Is it
question-
an actual Keshian dictionary, or does he have a?
That's part of the computer system.
Yeah. It's
Okay.
it's-
One
feeding to
early
your
question
computer.
for him. Can you ask him what other species, like our species, has his race come into contact with?
Ask
his
him what he
knowledge.
remembers last.
Yeah. So I'll be like, Kesh, Dendus, human, Ashen Forged, right?
Cash.
Yes, right. Kesh, good. And then I'll say, what other ones or something, and then I'll ask, what do you remember after that?
Say what remember, basically.
Yeah.
Keep it
Memory.
in small sentences until we can
Yeah.
finally get some.
No,
No memory.
only cash.
Oh, he only knows
Oh,
Kesh.
bold.
Yeah. All right. So he only is really familiar with Kesh.
Probably
Yeah.
from before you.
Yeah.
Before
Memory
time
before.
back.
My head was struck.
I'm then translating this out of Kesh, I assume.
Yeah, it's basic. Galactic base.
Yeah.
Our nascent ship rocked. All went black.
I wonder if that was in the early days of the uplifts.
Perhaps he said he has not encountered any other species.
Right.
He's taking this remarkably well.
Yeah. I'm like a little.
He looks
raised-
mostly terrified.
Well, I mean, he's terrified when he's not running away.
He's
so.
totally bruised.
It's hard to tell with cash.
It is.
Yeah.
Also, he's too weak to run. So
Yeah.
let him build his
Right,
strength.
What am I
and
gonna
then-
do?
Except,
Where's
except
it to
with
go?
the
I mean,
That's true. Yeah, I
He
guess
runs
that's
pretty good. I mean, I'd like to think I'm a pretty good specimen of physicality, and I have problems.
well. I don't.
Granted, that's probably because of me.
Well, and the
And
ghost. Right?
Ghost juice. It's a hell of a drug.
Yeah. Yeah, he was. That was a performance-enhancing drug. You know what I'm saying?
It is banned in at least 17 sectors.
That's right. No force ghosts.
We need to have a ship's meeting.
Yeah.
We need to decide on next steps.
I thought that's
Yeah.
what you were doing.
Yeah.
We don't know. Well, we're trying to play catch up. That's what we're trying to do. Now it's time to call the ship's meeting to figure out what to do. Now that we're sort of caught up, not really.
So I'm concerned about this whole dimension thing because I want to make sure we get back to where we want to be. This seems to be a topic of some concern. I'm concerned about the fact that the ship seems to be haunted, and what to do about that. I'm concerned about what to do with our friend here. And of course, we also came here to get our ship prepared, and now we have to deal with all the problems that we had left behind, namely being wanted by the Duboises. There's a particular Esper or two that tried to kill us a couple times. Right.
We have many problems. We don't know if we have them in this universe, but we would prefer our universe's problems.
That's a good question. I'll ask the computer does it have access to like news feeds
this universe's
from
version
Priestess.
of the Sim.
From Priestess. You know what I mean? Yeah, like because if we
Is Wraith Rebellion still going on?
Yes.
does it have? I'd like to access that. Search for Wraith's Rebellion. That's all the events we were directly involved in.
It brings it up on screen, and you don't recognize the language.
Okay. I'll ask you, why exactly did we slip from, well, for a better term, our dimension into this?
We call
While
ours
we transfer.
Universe A. This
Sure.
is Universe B.
Sure. Why? And I'll put
Let's
in those
keep it
terms
from
for
A
it.
to B.
Why did we slip
616?
from A to B? I didn't really want to.
We had sent. The commands were completed with the Crucibles, and once that was done, the Crucibles requested a test run.
Oh.
I was the only ship capable of doing that.
Fair enough.
So you can return us back to our point of origin?
Yes.
This is good.
That's good.
There
We
are
have
risks. There are risks at any time you travel
Too
dimensionally.
bad.
I must warn you.
Can we wait?
Mhm.
Can we enumerate those risks, please? He gets out like his little tablet. He's preparing to enter this information.
There are risks of damage to the ship.
Total molecular
There are
distribution.
risks of creatures from the in-between being encountered.
Centipedes.
There
Big
are
ones.
there are risks related to the astrogation being incorrect.
So not something I would
Among other
recommend for
things.
fun.
Yeah, and when you said that Crucibles had, so when this most recent, can you explain a little bit more about the triggering event that brought us? That you said when the Crucibles completed doing something. What is it that they completed doing?
Resetting the Sorium-D manufacture.
And where is the Sorium-D manufacture occurring?
In the Crucibles.
In every Crucible. Is this something that was happening in no Crucibles, but now is happening in every Crucible?
Correct. It had been turned off by the Atorians for the safety of the other species.
I see. And now that, and what is it that resulted, what triggered its being reactivated?
The ship was a messenger to them.
Okay, so this ship has returned, and now that, and it turned on Sorium-D and all the Crucibles. What effect will this have on the function of the Crucibles? Are the Crucibles still going to function as they did, or is this somehow
Yes, with additional capabilities that were dormant.
And are those capabilities the ones that allowed us to arrive at this dimensional location?
Yes.
How will
Among
people other than ourselves and this ship gain access to those abilities? Can they?
Through Esper Genesis.
So this activates a new.
For the moment, we are the only ones, either via our Esper powers or our ship, that are capable of doing this.
That we know of. If it's through Esper Genesis, there might be Espers anywhere in the galaxy.
Who suddenly start accessing new abilities.
Yeah, they are now.
It will
able
only
to.
happen to those that are newly exposed.
Oh,
The newborns will be the ones
Further
with those capabilities. Potentially.
Hi.
I know if he counts.
Yeah, I know. I don't know.
So greetings from Cashian.
What did he say?
Hi.
Oh.
Hello. He says hello.
we are getting somewhere.
I just explained that, I turn it and I look up in the old check sheet and say, confused. One moment, please.
We need to.
Well, the idea of being murdered in my sleep by an Atorian ghost isn't a pleasant one.
Right, so I named
we
3
need
problems. This was one of them.
I need at least new weaponry.
We have been asking for
Unless we're going to abandon the ship, which I prefer not to do.
Yeah, it's like a needler or something that you can shoot inside the ship. That's what needlers are good for.
We would like some explosives. Not for the ship.
Or your shock ball seem to work. Maybe I can get this thing electrified.
We think that if we are to deal with our Atorian, nearly departed Atorian, we will need weapons that are capable of more than physical attacks. Energy weapons of a shock variety, like radiant, anything that we can use besides cutting or bashing or stabbing.
And we need money to do that.
Well,
now we happen to be in possession of the best smuggling ship I could even conceive of.
Yeah, right?
Just saying. And I do have contacts out here, so if you guys wouldn't mind.
Well, not strictly here per se.
Well, the deep wind.
I wonder if there's anything in this universe that isn't available in our universe.
We are sure there is stuff.
Well, I'm just saying, while we're here.
Time to pick it up? Yeah, we can.
We would like to leave.
But there might be like
there may be
technology
many
here
things
that has never been known in the other. A cure to a disease. We could save lives, Soren.
We could save our own lives.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
That's the point I'm most concerned with.
We admire your philanthropic intentions.
Oh, it was purely selfless, I assure you.
No doubt. But we would also admire our selfish intentions to continue existing for at least 30 more cycles.
Computer, is there anything we can do to protect ourselves from a return from Ardanis? Is there some sort of...
Yeah.
field?
Do you have any
that-
information on these Esper entities? What specifically? What would damage them?
Weapons that use energy of some kind and Esper abilities.
Of course.
Okay.
We ask computer, is there any way to reduce the problems, any between dimensional universes, dimensional jumps to?
I reduce anytime that we slip dimensions, I reduce the risk as much as possible.
As minimal as possible, of course.
So are we talking are we saying 1 in a million chances of encountering one of these problems? 1 in 10? 1 in 2? Any idea what the probabilities are?
There are a lot of different problems that can occur, each one with different odds.
It is a case by case basis.
Very well.
And
So
it is not gambling.
Feels like gambling. But that's okay. Feels weird. And I don't like gambling. Hey now.
Hey,
There you go.
Just because you were very lucky one time.
yes.
Or 3 in a row or 4.
4 in a row. Statistically, it's almost statistically impossible. Almost. I gotta get those cards. Well, very well. We need to figure out what is the plan now. We would like to go back. We have to deal with the problems back. We need to deal with our new problem. As I point.
Right. What about...
They're talking about you.
Yeah, it's good. What about him?
Yes, but he doesn't know I'm referring to him as a problem.
I've been
No,
sort
he
of able to
doesn't.
communicate with him. He seems... doesn't seem hostile.
And
or-
his cow, right, is Soren pointing at me.
Oh, smart.
Don't point. It's making him uncomfortable, I think.
We are very uncomfortable.
Yeah, so I'll say, in the language you guys don't understand, say
There you go.
Tell him
rude,
Apologies.
apologies.
Tell him we are being just trying to be cautious.
Yeah,
In-
worried.
In Terran, I ask you, do you speak Terran?
No. I speak to him. I served on the.
Ashen Forged and Ducey Bellari in common, or basic, I guess.
I speak
Conduci-
Terran.
you speak Conduci, right?
I speak Conduci.
I mean, maybe something to share with him is our friend's home is gone. There's no way back for him.
Yeah, that would be something we should probably mention.
Right. Forgot about that. All right.
Perhaps we should. Do we wish to mention that
let's
now?
feed him. Let's
Yeah.
let's make him more
Ask him
comfortable.
if he's eaten.
Let's make him comfortable.
And maybe if we could calculate how. Well, I don't think it matters. It'll be interesting to learn how many years it's been.
Ask him if
How
he
long
has
does
a
an
native
uplift
calendar.
take? I mean,
Yeah. Up to millennia, eons. I don't know.
Ask him if he has a native calendar from when he was. What date does he remember?
This is going to be confusing, but
We are-
I'm in ancient Keshian 101 here. I don't know.
yeah.
I can try.
Maybe just let him know he's been asleep all along.
Yeah, many cycles, years, revolutions of the stars. You've been asleep.
Time, many.
Yeah, long, very long.
Time, remember?
Yeah, and I'll say, Kesh exist. Kesh homeworld does not exist. Gone.
Gone where?
I assume I'm going that this is common knowledge.
Right. The Kesh don't know where the homeworld is anymore. It's lost into
Supposedly
history.
they traveled so much
Right.
that they just lost track of how to get home.
So I'll share. It's like unknown.
Many travel.
Yeah, long travel, lost map. Hey, and then in basic, I say, hey, maybe he knows where their homeworld is.
He might.
That might be kind of a
Yeah,
big deal
that
for
would-
them.
Was as if I were only there a day ago.
What do you say?
He feels like he was just there yesterday.
Oh, well, maybe we should show him some astrogation charts and maybe.
Yeah.
Wow. Now there's a piece of information that would be valuable to an entire species.
Yeah. It's like, oh, but Bellari, we got some news for you.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
we got some news for you. The rest of
You can do some monographs that are going to set you up, buddy.
The research grants.
There you go.
10 year early.
That's right. So,
They
all
don't
right.
give tenure early, but they will in your case.
If we live, well,
Well,
just
yeah,
before the
we-
black hole swallows us up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Can't
So,
fire me.
Why don't we take a break here?
Okay.
Go to No biggie. Welcome back, everybody. We took care of our body break, and we're in the middle of a deep conversation about the future. Maybe even what the future means.
Or lack of, therefore. So, we need to decide what our next plan is. We have many things that we need to do. Chief among them is return to our home universe and then decide which problem to tackle. We believe figuring out what to do next in the long term and seeing to our guest. You'll notice I did not point.
Oh, that's very polite. I think he's still figuring it out, though. He's picking up language quickly.
We do not think he is not he is still a Kesh. He is not a primitive subspecies. So we would hope he could pick it up. And that is what I think what we think we must do.
So what? All right then. What do you think, Jack?
Well, as I said, I think we need funding.
Funding.
We would prefer funding in our universe.
Well, I'm neutral to that. I know you're uncomfortable here, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's like, all right. Well, while you make preparations to jump, I'm just gonna go back to the computer and just try to learn about this universe as much as I can. See if there's anything importantly different, interesting that I might.
We must
learn by, or even
if there is
profit by.
anything
Like,
we
how
can
about
do,
download some star charts to see
to
significantly
convince you,
different.
put shock
Well,
on the table,
you can't
that this would be a
you
good
can't
idea
understand
to
most of
with
the
shock on
data.
table.
Right.
because it's a different language, completely different, at least from a certain point on.
Here.
Right.
And
Does somebody expect
the ship can try and understand as much as
That's
it
one of
can.
the things we're wondering. If we go back,
Most
are we
things
still awaited
are
for repairs?
on a galactic scale in the same places,
Or has
Yeah.
although
causality been enough
maybe not
that
everything, and you'd have to. It would take granular understanding of what's happening to
know.
understand what's
are there
out of
alternate
place or
versions of
missing
that
or whatever.
Or are we a universal
And so, okay.
constant?
What about just specifically Freesis? Does it look the same as
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know.
Freesis?
We would not
Still
be
there.
opposed to
Does it look like it's
grabbing
being
something
terraformed?
here and bringing it back to our universe. Something of value that cannot be found there.
Yes.
However, we would like to keep it so that our time in this universe is as small as possible.
You know, when we were on this station for 2 or 3 days, right? No,
Like a couple of weeks, actually.
Couple of
On
weeks.
Deep Line,
Yeah.
2 weeks,
2 weeks.
2+ weeks.
So during that period, we knew the whole time that we were in a different. We weren't in our.
Yeah, pretty much. That's
They were suspicious.
That's what the conclusion we more or less came to.
I would be. Yeah. I mean, like, did anything jump out at us as being like?
No, it seemed very similar.
You know, not that like those alt history stories where you're like, it's the United States Capitol building, but there's a Nazi flag flying.
Yeah.
No, nothing weird.
Like literally, it's all. You said the writing was different. Was that something we noted? Like,
It was not.
It was not different.
You didn't note it.
We didn't note it.
You don't know.
I suppose we weren't paying attention to the news. I know I wasn't.
But you also slipped a dimension again a little while ago.
This is now what happened when we went invisible. When we came back. So I'm gonna ask you now: are we in a different dimension than we were when we were stationed when you were getting repaired?
Yes.
And we're in a different one from where.
That's
we're
why
in
we
C
can't
now.
understand the language.
We are now in C.
Yes.
The
We do not like that we are going further.
You gotta go all the way through, but to get back.
Yeah.
You gotta go through.
Pulls up the screen. Literally infinite amounts.
Well, I didn't
We
say
will
it was,
double up on triple C by the time we get past it.
I didn't say it would take me quick. Oh boy. Okay.
I mean,
Computer,
my character
Are
has
you capable
some
of? Have you
physics.
tracked our progress?
Do these other realities actually exist, or are they just kind of potentials that are realized when we go there? Like, I mean, as far as I understand it, are there Is it like a mad panoply of universes,
Are
or
we a universal?
are we kind of creating it when we go there?
Are we a universal?
That is an
culture?
unknown.
Man, good question then, right? Yeah, wow.
Do you see
That was
our
good.
line of thinking now?
Yeah, so then, being an astrophysicist, I'm sure our man Kelrin will pontificate about it. So, we've been arguing about the many worlds hypothesis for millennia. And
Please look out the window.
the Copenhagen interpretation and blah,
Yeah,
blah,
yeah,
blah,
yeah.
blah.
Please look out the window. Tell us if the stars are as you see them in our home.
Well, I mean, I'm not that kind of astronomer. I look at maps. I mean, they play stars. Look out. Well, when you change your position in space, the constellations look different. So I've never been to the deep wind in any universe.
Still,
Okay, my character, I make like a tentacle gesture at you.
Yeah. What do you tentacly gesture?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
he's trying to get you to use your
Yeah, just, yeah.
Oh, okay. I tentacle to you.
Oh, okay.
I go, yeah.
Just tell him yes.
I'm gonna
say it looks familiar.
I look out the window. I go. I look out the window.
Where's my insight?
Should
I'm gonna roll my insight to see if I buy that.
I roll deception as opposed?
He buys it. I can tell by that roll.
He's
That
just
roll face.
he's not so much that he buys it, is that he is not freaking out, but he is.
So I look out the window and oh, well, good news. This looks exactly like I would expect it to look.
Yeah,
This is good.
Yeah.
Let us go
exactly.
back to C, from C to A.
If you look out there, you can see there's there's the star in the system. As you'd expect,
FYI,
Phresis
it was a
is
7. It was a 7, so pretty much. You have to fumble hard.
Yeah, yep, I beat that. So
Okay,
I rolled an 11.
He doesn't know if he believes you, but he is not in the right state of mind to disbelieve you.
Yep. So yeah,
The test run is complete. Would you like to return to
We would like to go back.
your original state?
but think what we could learn. Hey, wait a minute, computer. You said that traveling across dimensions is one of the reasons that led to the downfall of the Atorians. What's the risk? I mean, besides that whole in-between thing, or is that the risk?
The energy requirements create potential black holes in the position of crucibles, and the amount of power crucibles have make them much greater than normal.
So using it draws power, causes the possibility of...
And eventually caused a giant galaxy-wide black hole.
Never in our life.
Galaxy eating one.
Yeah.
Never in our life have we ever considered doing a mutiny. We have put down mutinies, but we are getting pretty close.
Let's
who
go
are you
back.
mutinying against? I'm not the captain here. The ship? All right. Okay. I'm not going to stop.
We are fine with you pursuing this research. But we are also would like you to pursue this research from our neighborhood.
Very well.
We are fine with dying on foreign soil. We are not fine with dying in foreign worlds, foreign universes.
Well, I'll just collect as much astronomical data as I can, and while we're leaving, just for him to play with later. Play find the difference games.
There you go.
Just look for the one tiny thing that's different.
Everything's fine here. Fine.
Yeah, fine.
Fine. How are you?
All right, so do you need me to help pilot? Or?
Yes, I cannot do it without
Oh.
your assistance.
Needs an
Well,
Esper,
there we go.
remember?
All right, so I go plug in, get in.
And you
Okay.
plug in, and the stars seem in similar but not exactly the same places. And some of those controls that you set over to the side
Yeah.
slide forward,
Oh, here we go. All right.
and you can see almost like point-to-point controls. You see little lines going from, and they're not set in, they're set at specific distances. And you can tell it's just a graphical representation because there's no other way of doing a representation of dimensionality
Right.
that you could understand with your own dimensional senses.
Yeah.
Right.
So you see that you've gone 3 spaces.
So we are.
Oh, we're actually in D, I announced throughout the computer speaker.
Are we in D or C?
I think we're in D, but
We see it.
hopefully not soon.
Please program into the computer that the D. We
Yeah,
must
is
keep
there
track of.
what can I
Sure,
see
yeah.
about any differences
Well, we just
in the
thought
actual
they should.
representation of these things?
Well,
Like what's changed?
When you touch them, what happens is all the astrogation changes the little bit or a lot of bit, whatever amount it requires to show you the variations. And it warns you to go from D to A is a multi-jump. I'm sorry, a multi-slip. And when done so, there is expected nausea.
Oh. Do it. Multi-slip. Yeah, I don't think I even shared that with you guys.
Yeah, we are.
I'm like,
And-
well, I do say, please buckle in.
The one thing you can do is every time you hit them, you can kind of see the universe, the astrogative computer showing variations, the little ones that it takes, but in all the all the 3 dimensionals plus time that you can see, and you can see almost everything seems to be almost exactly the same for the most part. So it's not like you slip into something so vastly different.
Gotcha.
It's probably way different on granular levels rather than galactic scale levels.
Okay.
You have to go much
farther,
please.
yeah.
Farther away you get.
Yeah,
The
that's when
weirder
you start getting whacked.
Imagine the mathematical equation that describes the difference in one unit for another that changes from carry to Corey.
Right.
Yeah, you figure that one out.
Heck
That's the
yeah.
one we want to get to.
That's a bit of math right there.
And tell our guest to buckle in case he hasn't understood.
About the.
Well, he's in the med bay.
All right.
Are you all in the med bay except him?
I stayed in the med bay.
I'm assuming that.
I was in the mid bay as well.
Well, you should all buckle in.
All right, so I'm gonna turn and say travel, bumpy, seatbelt.
There's a belt that they'll on the
I'll
side,
myself
a strap.
in if
Yeah, I
there's
don't-
something on the bed.
I don't know anything about nausea though, unfortunately. So
Yeah.
we'll all find that surprise. I'll be in the middle of drinking something. Here we go.
And
That'll be fun
All right.
at 0G.
Here we go.
I'll give you
Chunky.
you can do the countdown if you want.
Okay, yeah.
You're
We'll
the
be
pilot.
we'll be cruising transdimensionally at I don't even know.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
At infinite altitude.
Yeah.
Right. We will
All
see.
right.
This is your captain speaking. We may be
3,
experiencing
2,
some interdimensional
1. Here we go. All right.
And the ship goes all blurry again, and you can see through the walls and all of that. And
Very disconcerting feeling.
it is, and you can see outside. It's almost like you're in a bubble, with the ship having these buzzing walls. There's sound that comes with it all of a sudden when you're making this multi-jump, multi-slip, and then everything stops, and it stops so hard that it like pulls your stomach down like a roller coaster, except maybe higher G, and then. And everyone who fails a con check,
Here we go, baby.
you don't have to roll Jack.
Oh, okay, cool.
12 fail?
10.
What's your con?
13.
Yeah.
That's what I figured. It's okay, I don't have much in my stomach.
Yeah, you don't.
Yeah, 10 under 15.
Yeah, you
19.
all over the place. You like hold it.
Solid as a rock.
I'm just turning and like, oh, that remote. Right.
Oh no, it's coming closer.
Fortunately, we have gravity, right?
Yeah, we.
Oh, yeah, turn the gravity on quick.
Boots throws up too.
Boots.
So, who here has lost their lunch? Boots, you. I'm the only one.
Now you're surrounded by.
Oh, I'm surrounded by a minefield of
You might have gotten it on you.
And I felt fine, right?
a small.
You felt connected.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
yes,
guys,
it's
I was
good.
warned there might be some slight nausea, but it turns out everything's fine.
A small price to pay.
Yeah.
A small
You
price
son
to
of
pay.
a.
A small price to pay for peace of mind. Are we?
Jack, make me a perception roll.
Are
Perception
we?
check.
Are we home?
23.
Do we need to quantum leap again?
Yeah, quantum.
Quantum leap.
Is Scott Bakula next to us? That is how we know we are
No,
not
but
dead.
the other jumper is.
No?
Yeah, oh.
Please kindly get off our ship. We've had enough stowaways.
Yeah, right. Did the ghost come with us? I guess so.
I think the ghost goes where it wants to now.
Yeah, we freed it on somehow. Did we do that?
We probably did that.
Yeah, I think we did that when we brought all the stuff back.
Oh, good old notes. Love it.
Whoa!
I mean, there's dots on your screen at the moment.
Oh, how sterile. There appears to be some kind of battle going on, and as far as I can tell, that we are back in our home.
Seems to be, yeah.
dimension. This is one that counts.
So we are home, as far as you can tell.
Yes,
But still,
but there is a combat right now.
in the
Are
deep
we
line?
in the
In the
middle
deep
of
line,
it?
yeah. Computer, can you put that on the screen?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's dots.
Just
Okay,
We
so we're
can't-
far enough
yeah.
away that we're not like jumped right into the middle of a
No, but
naval engagement.
you're close enough that you can tell that it's a military battle.
Oh boy, what's
Pirates, perhaps.
Yeah, who are the parties involved? Any
Can we get a
transponders
magnification?
or
Yeah.
Jack, can we get a magnification on that?
what are they
Yeah.
saying?
You
Zoom
Yeah,
can-
okay.
enhance?
You can get some.
okay.
And it looks like they're military ships jumping in from Silrain Prime. They're Silrain Prime
Because
ships.
we're right by the Crucible, right?
And it looks like there are Terran ships that are resisting.
How good's our
Terran
asteroid?
military ships.
Our asteroid blaster's not much enough fight,
Huh?
is it?
No, that is one of the things that we are trying to see to.
Who are the ones jumping in? Can we identify them?
Some unidentified Silrain Prime ships from, Galactic Council kind of stuff.
Oh,
Sword pulls up the
Oh, they might have-
news for any naval engagements, any
The big governments might have
exercises.
decided
Oh,
to
yeah.
horn in.
Terra claimed ownership of this crucible and that they were trying to shut it off apparently from the rest of the galaxy while they studied that Silrain Prime resisted. Terra said, no, it's our property and you don't get to come here, and that became this.
is there a reason why this particular Crucible is the one that is just because they have
the
access
one
to
You
it?
don't know yet.
Yeah,
It
okay.
seems like it's the one that turns off and on mysteriously.
I wonder whether they've discovered that it has new properties. Thanks to
Now,
our friends, the
You are
ship.
absolutely sure we are in our home universe, and we have not stumbled into some alternate mirror dimension of some
Do
sort.
I,
the-
do I have a goatee?
No, yeah, the Dubois group got all the information, so they could have passed on to whoever. Yeah,
The Romanovs do have a
and the Romanovs, but
sizable portion as well.
The Dubois and the Romanovs both know that this ship exists, and
and
they don't know the things we've just learned, but they know enough to know that this
It's
is
valuable.
there's some
And our friend here does have much implications for the galactic community and the Cash.
they won't know about that yet, though.
No, we speak that there is something additional.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, for sure. All right.
We should probably not go near that battle. We do not like our chances as lightly armed as we are.
How quick is communication? Like, if we wanted to reach out, for example, to like that Odyssey fella, is that something that would? And we're on the deep line. He's on Freesis.
You're near the deep one. You're not in it anymore.
Yeah, is that something that we could communicate? I mean, I don't know who. Is there anyone in particular we want to communicate with to get more info?
yeah, I mean, he's a good person to reach out to.
Well, once again, this comes to the second problem. What to do next? Because we are now back in our native universe. But now the question is, okay, now what? Do we want to stop the Dubois? Do we want to get revenge? Do we want to get our friend up to speed on the thousands upon thousands of years that will possibly go
Well, we
by?
definitely want to do that.
Yeah.
But
Do we want to get paid so we can, get equipment, get the ship upgunned,
Oh, all of those sound good. I don't. Maybe I think we should get more information right now.
Yes, information is key.
So maybe we could reach out to Odyssey Ing and arrange for some old Keshian translation software to get downloaded to the ship.
Well, and the ship itself, the meditation, has a very clean record, but we personally don't.
Right.
Maybe even while we're in the deep wind, we want to get fake IDs.
Fake IDs, right?
To go with the meditation. So
it's new crew.
Yeah.
Fair. So maybe none of us had spoken to Odyssey before. I know Rafe had, but after Rafe was.
He gave us his contact when we met him. He gave us his contact.
So I guess any of us can call him up.
Yeah.
Who wants to give it a call? I guess we do it as a group.
Yeah, as a group. Or here, come to the bridge. I'll try and contact him.
And when you try and make contact, the communication systems are all being jammed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I guess let's just go to.
You can't pick up much. You can't see much. You can see the battle because of your technology.
And probably your contacts that might get us fake IDs are out here in the deep line.
In the middle of a big fight.
Yeah, they might be keeping their heads low.
Yeah, they're probably hunkering down as much as possible.
I guess back to Freesis and see who we can get in touch with.
Yes, we should monitor the situation.
Oh, and Rafe. See how
Find out he's doing. Yeah. It's been a couple weeks now.
Yeah. Well, we have no idea how long it's been. Actually,
is there a way to orient ourselves time-wise? Like, did the same amount of time pass here that we experienced having passed? Subjective time versus.
You guys can check that, yeah. And it tells you the time and date, and you realize you've been gone about 8 months.
Woo!
Okay, note to self. Is it the jumping itself, or is it that time travels differently in the other dimensions? I asked the ship.
It is very easy to miscalculate jumps when returning to a previous dimension.
Wait a minute, ship. Can we intentionally travel to different times in a timeline? Like, can we choose?
No, it's a byproduct of mathematical miscalculations.
Of the jump. So we can't opt to travel. I'd like to travel to yesterday, please.
Okay, yeah, I'll ask you that though. Can you ever arrive before you left?
We've never been able. The Atorians did not have the ability to do that.
God, that's at least something.
Yeah,
yeah.
It's like on the one hand, it's like that would be really cool. The other
hand,
at
least something. Okay.
Soren feels a very deep and profound sense of relief that he does not have to deal with that.
or deal with a second version
another
of
sword
at the moment.
Right. Yeah.
He'd actually probably get along okay as long as he's not trying to kill him.
Just another Wii.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
You have so many Wii's, and who cares? It's just another Wii. It's our new Wii.
Let's start a whole communist revolution. It's our Soren.
Right.
Still you.
So what's it like being us? It's all right.
So I guess back to Freesis then.
Yeah.
Yes. We need to update on what has transpired.
First question would be stealth in and then just kind of go on foot somewhere, or
well, this ship kind of is always stealth.
Right.
Unless you turn it off.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, turn on the transponders going loud, or
the meditation is a clean ship. We think,
but
149
Soren is not. And when you have to declare who you are, do I know a place where I can go without really declaring who the crew is?
Make a smuggling check.
I was going to say that sounds like someplace important.
Yeah, that's what it's for, right?
11.
Some basic smuggling knowledge.
Probably Kamen Station, which is a space station around the gas giant Kamen. It's known for minimal crew monitoring, minimal. There's one marshal on the station.
Okay.
Who's I'm sure is the bastion of integrity.
100%. Yeah.
All right. So if we want to try and sneak in a little,
we would like new IDs and new.
Actually, make me a charisma check.
18.
You know the fueling director there. His name is
Oh.
Chukti 4786.
Oh, is he?
He's not.
Oh,
He's a different species than the rest of the main ones.
okay.
Not a Silverary.
No, he looks like that. Like creepy and weird.
Neat. All right. All right, yeah.
Chukti.
Let's, actually, I've got a friend there. We should probably talk
And it's
to
a
him.
quiet station, and it's worse. It's where you get fuel when you can't get fuel anywhere else.
Gotcha, okay.
Well, hopefully it's not a military target. Still.
Well, let's see. Yeah. All right, so
The funny thing
that's where
about
we'll set course
military
for.
targets is
Okay.
everything can become a military target.
I know that's unfortunate.
It is. Just remember, do not build your civilian population centers near your grav trains. Usually helps.
I'll remember that next time I'm building a civilian population.
Good. Do so. Civil engineering saves lives.
Well, I did, when back in school, I did used to play a video game, Civilization 365,258.
We like
It was great.
We like the previous 4 versions. We do not feel the mechanics were up to snuff.
Okay, so you head that way,
Okay.
and takes you half a day or so to get there. Running at a good pace, but not trying to draw attention to yourselves, which
Quite casual.
wouldn't matter if someone was trying to draw attention to you anyway.
Yeah.
And you arrive at the station. The station looks like this. It's like a big, multi-tiered, giant gas tank.
Oh, cool.
It's just big fuel tanks and gas tanks.
We must. Can we acquire ancient Keshian software from here?
Well, I was thinking of the day or so we were traveling. Is that something we could just get off the
Just get him
sim or something?
Well-
Or try and install some basic Silurian and
Yeah, with half a day, I would want to try to learn using the dictionary program a little bit.
Make me a perception check.
Accept some vocalizations.
16? Yeah, 16.
You're talking to him, and he turns to do something. Maybe get a drink or
Probably got my
something.
head down looking at the.
And he's got a
the
hole in his
dictionary
neck.
file on the computer.
Define whole, like where I would slide
Like
a
a
language
port.
chip?
Yeah,
Okay.
Back of the neck port.
Is it just an old-fashioned DNI, or is it?
Oh, it's old, but it's a port.
So if we could get a translation chip, that could work for him.
Maybe.
So I think.
But you'd have to look at it and see if it would even, you'd have to make something custom to
Right.
work in it, but you could do it. You have some engineering skills. That's not a particularly
And
complicated
we've got a
thing.
machine shop here. If we need to work something up. All right. So yeah, I would try to communicate to him as well. That we have translation technology that we could use on your neck for.
And you feel a hole there.
You didn't know that was there. Like, oh no.
Wait, what?
I said, okay. See, common, very common.
we don't know.
We don't. I don't either, but Jack does.
He had
I see.
Well,
Well,
now,
to him,
now it makes you wonder if it actually is a DNI port. Maybe it's not a DNI, it's just something else. Who knows?
Like, examine? Is that? I'll ask if I can take a look at it.
I know.
Yeah.
Allow it.
I was like, here you go. I'll take a
No idea.
image of it and show him so that he can see what it's got in the back of. It's not like you can see the back of your own neck. Right? And I'm examining it. Does it look like?
It looks like a
okay?
DNI port, a really old kind that you've never seen, but maybe the same kind of thing.
Brain computer interface. Direct neural interface.
How far back do you think he was acquired? Could be they were still using chemical rockets when he was acquired.
Yeah, maybe during our conversation I would have tried that calendar question. I don't know how hard that would be to calculate because you'll say something in old Keshian, and I
Right,
probably
give you a date.
be like, oh well.
Ask him what his tech level is.
Had you traveled across the galaxy?
How
Your people?
big space?
Very little.
Used crucibles? Used spheres to jump?
No, we traveled in starships.
Slow travel.
Not quite kind of rocket, but a step above, barely a step above.
Well, if the Turians did the uplifting, and the Turians are responsible for the crucibles, as we think. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That is the conclusion we have come to.
They certainly could use them, whether they built them or not. I don't know, but
Well, they might not have discovered them, or they might have. I mean, we don't even know how old they are.
We are similarly in the dark about that. We know that they were involved in some form, but we do not know if it was found or created.
all right. So so hopefully we've got some possibility for a translation check, and I'll explain technology, maybe help with language, but have to make.
Like fiction cinema.
Yes.
Some things truly are universal.
That's right.
We can want to provide him with star charts, see if he can find his home.
I would probably request that, after some of the dictionary stuff was filled in a little bit more.
Well, somebody's asking.
If I could look at star charts.
Somebody's asking the astrocartographer.
Hey,
you want star charts?
You got any star charts?
Oh,
Boy, do I ever!
I'm throwing all these things up all over. Every wall has a projection screen on it. Like, well, this is a really interesting,
Hey,
I absorb it all.
There you go.
As if it were familiar to me.
Hey, there you go. So I'll lay it all out. I'll try and orient where we are now, where all the other, like where Earth is, Sol, and
Nothing looks familiar to me.
you want to buy some star charts?
yeah. First one's free. All right. I guess then I'll go. Oh, wait a minute, and then I'll try and do a calculation to roll it back. I'm just gonna take a shot. 10,000 years, since that was a number I think that came up in reference to the ship, right? Wasn't it 10,000 years?
10,000 was a number, however, that
We knew it would have been longer, maybe, but
Yeah.
So eventually, I don't, I know they can do this now. I used to have a program where you can show it that you can pick any date. What's the stars gonna look like in 2086? That sort of thing.
Shrink the universe back.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got it at least 10,000.
It was
so
10,000. I think 12,000 was another number that came up, but 10,000 was definitely a number.
See if that helps.
And a smaller number.
Make an you have astrogation, right?
I have astro.
Or astrophysics.
Physics, yes.
Yeah, make an astrophysics check.
Cool. Get an 11.
No.
Still trying to figure this stuff out.
Well, I'll
It's really
just continue.
complicated. What's really amazing is how big this is now.
Right, yeah, all these
Maps.
screens that
Like-
you showed me.
Crazy different.
It's astonishing.
Did you explain to him that there are more than just, obviously, more than just the cash, but we feel he may be in for culture shock?
Yeah, I mean, I explained Dendus
I've
and human
absorbed
and
that.
Ashen
Yeah.
Forge, and I maybe would, we've got a computer here. We can show all kinds of here's what whatever looks like, and here's our friend Boots is Aldori, and
I saw those bodies.
We don't even know some of those bodies.
Yeah.
What is that thing?
To be fair, we probably would know maybe one or two of them if they were slightly more intact.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I understand the galactic variety in corpses.
You would have known about 5 of them.
So there, yeah. But yeah, so working on trying to just bring you up to speed. On
Yeah,
what's going on.
it's a struggle, but I show obvious competency with astrophysics.
Excellent.
What? Ask him what his position was, because obviously part of a crew of some sort.
Yeah, job
Technician.
technician. Apparently.
Oh, excellent. That will help us patch the holes in the ship.
Science, soldier, pilot.
And boots.
Yeah. Technician of sorts.
Computer.
Computer. Yeah.
Well, Soren's gonna go up there.
And you were going through old Keshian books.
Yeah.
Online.
Yeah, I guess.
Not books, but books. But there's
Texts.
not
Yeah, sure.
right texts. And you can scroll back tens of thousands or more than 10,000 years of content has been saved. You can find really old texts
Well, I guess showing him some of these.
Yeah, and at a certain point, you get to a point where you can read things and they're just totally clear. But you get beyond a few hundred years of a space, and it's like
the language is weird again.
It's like reading,
and that's only my comprehension of it.
It's like reading Old English compared to Middle English compared to
Right.
So once we've identified that several 100-year window, how many thousands of years ago?
About 12,000 years.
So,
Technician, science, pilot.
What did he say?
technician, science, pilot. So that's you all. He's a multi-talented individual.
He will put most of us out of a job.
I like the idea. As long as
Space him.
Yeah. Get rid of him now.
Oh no, he's a threat to your guys' job.
Yeah.
I'm sad. There is enough problems going on here that I've got job security for life.
There's a war going on too.
Yeah.
War, alien ghosts. I can seek elsewhere employment, man. There's always room for another gun.
I will communicate to that it's been 12,000 years.
At least.
Yeah. We will find more. We will find the cache for you eventually.
Let's look at more star charts.
Yeah. So now that I have that ballpark, that should help me. Like, well, this is where we are at now. This is what the galactic core looks like, and then like, where was cache in relation to the galactic core? You know, I like bring up the old map, and I'm like, well,
an idea, but it's a rift.
Yeah, who knows? Where cache at rift?
Yep.
Somewhere in that ballpark. Just so in case he can orient where, so he'll be like, oh, okay, this is where we are. Roughly.
Make me an intelligence check.
For me?
Yep.
Oh, 21. That's just flat.
Yeah, you could change the star charts to be from the perspective of
Cache
that area.
Yeah.
And that might help them.
Right. Reorient it and
So
Yeah.
center them
show
there.
the stars, and then roll it back 12,000 years.
Right.
Right. And then
I
so
mean,
you-
it takes time to do
Right,
it, but you could
right.
do it.
All right, so then you could see like from the Keshian area, this is
Actually, you
where
can't
we
roll
are.
back 10,000 that easily. You could roll it back. You can jump 10,000 years in the rollback. It'll go from now to 10,000 years ago, and
Right.
it'll be there.
as opposed to actually playing through the whole thing.
Right.
That's fair. All right, we can do that.
What is the status of our? How close are we to
And you're-
Station Jack?
How are you arriving?
I think it would
Transponder on or
yeah,
off?
on.
Okay,
I
so
think
you turn it
it's
on.
less.
Meditation.
Yeah, then suddenly appear. Hey, you don't show up anywhere.
Right.
Funny
Yeah.
how that works.
Mm-hmm.
We can only. I think we can only get away with that. Oh, it was broken. We just fixed it so many times.
Right.
And you can see there's a bunch of ships docked here.
No
A
doubt.
bunch of ships.
Yeah.
More than you've seen, and there are
Oh, this
waits.
is good for us.
You're told to wait.
Gotcha.
That they'll get you in when in order.
Refugees from
Acknowledged.
war, no doubt.
Yeah.
Do they seem like warships?
No,
Okay, good.
No.
it's all civilian ships
The
here.
war's not here just yet.
Take a number.
Yeah,
The
take a
war
number.
is here. It's just not.
It's like a hurricane line for the gas station.
Oh,
Yeah.
tied to
You're just
home,
like-
so it's just pick a number.
That's something for you. Who is up there?
And there is one fuel ship here that is like it's just a giant bubble with a control center and a motor and an engine, and it's just filling with as much as it can take.
Back out to the
Yeah,
war zone. Probably.
making money.
Mm.
I mean, it's just one of the ports,
I
the
respect
docks,
the
but
hustle.
So I guess let's access the local intranet or the sim or whatever.
The sim.
What's going on with this war? What caused it? Let's read the news.
you can't get access right now.
Unless we're still even.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a blackout.
There's very little getting through. His communication even had to break through, and it took time.
All right, so maybe when we're physically in inside the building,
Yeah.
we can access a terminal or something.
Perhaps a hardline cache.
Yeah, it
Local Wi-Fi.
it takes a couple of hours before you're able to actually dock, waiting for other ships for a dock to come open, and you eventually get there. And when you connect, your new docking port works.
Oh, yeah. I
Nice.
guess I
That's
was
good.
there.
That's a good start.
Yes, because it would be very hard to park anywhere else on this station.
Yeah.
In fact, I don't don't think you could do it. You'd have to use an EVA suit and a
Float.
and
Yeah.
float.
And
Right.
a rope, yeah.
And you can see through one of the windows that there's a space station here.
Right.
And at your time there was like 3 space stations.
But this is gigantic and complex.
Yep. Right. And this one,
Chaotic.
eventually you can even tell kind of what this station is about. You can see the planet under it is a gas giant of some kind. And you can see that it has a tether that drops into the atmosphere. And it's actually siphoning gas right out of it physically. So you eventually park, dock, and you get off the ship, and you're immediately met by Chukti, who's the fueling director.
This is totally, you're the
There you go,
smuggler
yeah.
visiting the Cloud City.
Yeah,
And
there
like,
you go.
I hope this guy's
Chukti,
happy to
my
see
friend.
me.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a sense of humor.
Oh, okay.
Uh-huh.
Chukti, I trust you recall, Jack?
I recall.
Uh,
Fuel,
fuel, not so much. No, there's a variety of services we need.
new ship,
Yes,
never seen.
very special. Mine.
Yours?
Ours. Ours.
Stolen?
No, actually, legally mine.
Come.
Okay.
So
You meet Barry.
Have I
You
met
don't know who
Barry?
that is.
Okay.
As we're walking, I'm like, did he ask if our ship was stolen? Is that something you have
What?
you showed up here before?
Never.
Stolen vessels?
No Rafe?
Rafe, oh, what do you know? What have you heard about Rafe out here?
He began the...
Yeah, is that what's going on? We've been incommunicado for a while.
Oh no, the Crucible went crazy.
What happened?
We don't know.
We were
Where have you been?
at deep space.
damaged transponder.
Yeah,
8 months.
Come, Barry can tell you.
okay.
The docking fees have started accruing, just so you know.
Well, let's go
That's, yeah, well, let's go. Oh, yeah.
then. And then I'm occasionally filling you in with what little Keshy and I've picked up,
Yeah,
and you're
and,
probably picking up some of that regular stuff too.
And if you have any jobs available,
Run fuel?
absolutely. Yeah, I'm definitely in need of a lot of funding in the near future. Whatever you need to do.
Barry can help.
Excellent.
What does the station look like inside? Just very Spartan.
Very industrial.
Okay.
And it's dirty and
I would imagine so.
dripping fuel and oils and...
Is it fairly crowded, like with all the?
No, it's pretty sparse actually.
Really?
Yeah, there's not a whole lot of activity where you came in, at least.
Okay. I'm just wondering with all the refugees and the people coming in, if there's like huddled masses everywhere, or if it's just.
Nope.
We're at a, at least not in this.
You don't see any refugees.
I thought that's what some of the card assumed.
It might be that this is one of the only places left to get fuel in the system.
No doubt.
And you're led into an area that it opens up to a big hall, and there's a bunch of people in there. Not refugees, though.
Okay.
You can see an auction going on.
Hmm.
It's a fuel auction.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It's at a premium.
Yeah, it's
It
getting
totally
there.
is.
Oh, man.
And you're seeing numbers
I
on
know
it like you've
somehow.
never seen fuel at. Like,
Wow.
what?
Gosh,
Yeah.
maybe we should sell the stuff out of our gas tank, make more money than anything else. Of course, then we're out of fuel.
Yeah, we don't want
We'll just use that money to buy more fuel.
Yeah.
And he walks you past all of that.
Back to the other dimension, fill it up with fuel, and then bring it back with us.
Explode.
Yeah,
it.
right.
Yeah.
It's always good to miscalculate that.
Yeah, of all the things.
Well, here's the problem with that. We go get the fuel from the other dimension, and we come back, and it's 8 months later and they've
Right.
signed a peace accord.
Yeah, right.
The
And you're
fuel
like,
is now literally
Worthless.
worthless.
and they're like, we can't use this fuel. It's not unleaded.
I think we need salesman boots here.
Yeah, right. Oh my gosh, he would have been figured a way to make this profitable.
And he brings you to what looks like the private area of the station.
Okay.
Like there's security that blocks the way. He's really tall, by the way. He's like a good 1.5 feet taller than the rest of you. And he has these really long legs. They don't seem to move very fast, but they're such long that he moves
Got a big
faster than
stride.
you think, right?
We've got a big stride.
Yeah. And you get to an office that has a name on it. It says Barry Garris, and director of Cayman Station. And he opens the door. Barry will speak with you.
Thanks, Chucky.
And he ducks to go in after the rest of you go in.
Okay.
And he goes to a seat that's off on the side, and you can see Barry's in there, and there's a couple of he has a couple of guards with him, and he has another person with him, a woman, and he says, "Have a seat. I'll be with you in a moment."
Okay.
Human, maybe?
He's human, yeah. And he's got kind of a roguish look. I mean, he's not a rogue, not that kind of thing, but
He's got that
scoundrelly.
that scoundrelly solo. Yes.
There you go.
Yeah.
Scruffy looking?
Scruffy looking.
Nerford?
He's got some scruff going for sure right now.
Fly by the seat of his pants kind of guy.
And he finishes this conversation with this other person quietly, and she leaves. All right, so I hear you got a new ship. How much fuel can you carry?
Quite a bit.
Can you carry it outside the ship?
We could. This is a. Where do you need it delivered? I can deliver.
The
it
war
pretty
zone,
much
of course. Out by the deep wind.
A simple drop.
Wait a
or
minute.
Combat drop.
Are you for the Prime faction?
We've been out of touch for about 8 months,
We just got back in the system.
doing some deep space exploration. We didn't find it. We don't know anything.
What do you
about
mean
what's
you've been
going
out of touch? You had to fly into the system.
Our equipment was slightly damaged.
Well,
we
we-
were unable to ascertain anything from the sim.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
flew in and everything
Before.
was jammed.
Before
What the hell are you
jam.
talking about? This is your goddamn war.
Who? Oh.
Where the hell is Rafe, too?
Where? That's a good question.
I
We
thought he
haven't
was
seen him
with
for a
you.
while.
Well, how about you fill us in on what we've missed? Would you, please?
All right.
Assume we know absolutely, positively nothing.
I'm not sure it's an assumption at this point.
It is not.
So you've been incommunicado for 8 months.
More or less.
Correct.
Hold on a second. And he goes to his computer. Shit, you have been incommunicado for 8 months.
Oh,
You
good.
haven't docked anywhere.
Oh, good. Okay, that's good to hear.
Yeah, right?
I was
And he
wondering,
looks-
were
Yeah.
we here doing things
Are
for
we- are
8
you-
months?
Are we a universal constant?
Oh.
or-
Yeah, right. Did
And he looks over
Universe
at
D's
Chukti,
versions come over?
and Chukti nods. So you haven't been around for the war you started, and I have to thank you for that, actually.
We assume it's been very profitable.
Best 8 months of my life.
You're welcome. Can you tell us a little more about how we started a war? Was this Rafe's revolution?
Oh, it started as that, but something happened to the Crucible, and ships started showing up from God knows where, and nobody knows who they are or where they came from, but they're trying to take the system. Terra initially fought them off, tried to claim the system as part of the Terran Empire, which didn't exist 8 months ago. Thank you very much. Silrain Prime came in they sent everybody to try and push down the rebellion, because you can't have rebellions in a peaceful galaxy, can you?
No.
Trade really gets messed up on the official trade gets messed up. But there's a third faction that they've been taking ships down like they never have seen before.
So
they came from nowhere. We don't even know what they are. We haven't captured a ship even.
So just to back up, the Terrans already, I thought they had financial interests here, but it wasn't officially part of the Terran.
Oh, this has been part of Terra. What are you talking about? This is Solarian. They own this place.
So what's the problem with Terra claiming this system? Why is Silrain Prime upset about that?
Because Silrain Prime wants it after whatever's been going on with the Crucible happened. Nobody can figure it out, but there's something going on. Ships are doing things like they've never done before.
Yeah. Tell me a little more about that.
Including things like being gone for 6 or 8 months at a time and then appearing.
Oh, yeah, we're familiar with that phenomenon.
Yeah.
That's strange.
Ooh. So, there is the forces of a united Terra, Silurian Prime forces, and an unknown third party who is apparently outdoing both.
Yes.
We saw a battle between Terran and Silrain forces out by the Crucible when we arrived.
Yeah, that's where it's happening.
And
they're not fighting in the system. They don't give a shit about the system. There's nothing here but gas.
They just care about
Thank
the
God.
Crucible. And then where's the third faction? Did they just occasionally show up and?
Oh, they're trying to hold the Crucible.
Oh, they're
on the Crucible.
And we have no images or idea of who they are. What
No,
species?
all the communication out there has been just gone.
Not even any images of what the ships look like.
And he shows you a picture, and it looks sort of like a spider, like a ship, but like multiple prongs coming out the back, long and thin, semi-organic maybe, like things that are like flowy but not quite.
Question. Does it sort of look like the shadows from Babylon 5? A little bit? Just a tiny bit?
I don't remember them. Hold on.
They were dark.
They're like their scout ships.
Looked as if they had multiple limbs or prongs coming out of them.
Yeah, because that's what the thing I'm
They're
picturing.
potentially insectoid or.
Hold on.
Well, I would just want to
No.
record that,
No.
and then so that we
No.
could show it to the computer later. See if it was able to identify, like, oh, that's an Atorian ship, or that's, or whatever. I look at him and I say, recognize, that ship?
Yeah, the problem is that once the battle started, the Crucible was like shut down, so you can't get ships here fast enough. Everyone has to go hyperspace, so getting ships here the old-fashioned way is slow.
You're trapped in the system.
And the third faction can't bring new ships either.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about how they do it.
Well,
and apparently there's things going on with all the Crucibles too since whatever happened.
Yeah, whatever that
Not
was.
the same, but other things.
Our war, indeed.
So, boys, it's time to get rich. We're at war.
So, Barry, while we're here, what can we do to help you?
Oh, I'm going to load your ship up with so much fuel,
Excellent.
even in the void, you'll have trouble moving.
All right.
Getting up to speed. Yeah, there's a lot of industrial ships out there that need fuel. They don't use thorium, all of them,
Okay. Well, that sounds good.
Well, we might want to find our way back to the Crucible somehow anyway, if we could.
Yeah, a lot of people are even afraid of using the thorium engines at this point because weird things keep happening when they do.
Is everyone going to the alternate universe?
Maybe.
An accident, and maybe we got invaded by an alternate universe.
That's one possibility that I considered.
Or if there be some Crucible somewhere far away that these are visiting us from.
Are we to sell this fuel to whoever can pay for it, or are we with the Terran?
Oh, well, I'll line you up a buyer.
Oh, you have?
Oh, yeah, I have buyers all over the place right now.
What I don't suppose you could give us an update or let us access a terminal with news from Freesis for the past 8 months?
It'll be spotty because communications are being jammed all the time, all over the place.
I just want
You
to
can
know.
get through sometimes. Some things will pop. Things will come through for a little while.
Just want to know what happened with the. The original war was Scrappers versus the Dubois. I want to know how that turned out.
Yeah, that was the start. I mean, everyone knew that things were going to happen there when that got going. Everyone wants to. Freesis is suddenly much more interesting to people. Actually, the core system as a whole is much more interesting to people than it was.
Seems so.
While we're here, do you think we need a translator chip? Think anybody around here could get us one?
Yeah, you can get that down in convenience store.
Oh, okay.
Well, might need
Big
some
of a deal.
modifications.
Yeah, all right.
Hopefully we can
And,
do the modifications.
slight
ourselves. Yeah.
We are sure that between you and
Having
Bruce,
been here
you will
before,
be
do they have
an
like a
ardent
weapon
friend.
shop around here?
Yeah, we don't need to put old Keshi on it as much as put our languages on it.
Yes.
Into old Keshi.
Perhaps also an updated version of Keshin.
Can you carry? Okay, your
I'll
new
give
ship.
him like a general interior volume that we could carry. We can carry more, but that I can pretty much guarantee that would arrive completely undetected. That much. If you want us to carry more, we can do it.
Undetected, like
Undetected.
transponder down, like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Being cagey. Be cagey.
Well, if that's the case,
Be very cagey.
I might have you move some other stuff too. Smaller stuff. That's harder to move. Spice. Oh no, everybody's eating green cake now.
Okay.
And it's bland. There's no
is the
spices
time-
in.
Now is the time for salesman boots.
There you go. Oh, boots.
Warner the market.
Yep. He's got his fancy food.
Yeah, actually, Boots probably is like, I have some things that taste really good.
Really good.
Like
one soup cup salesman on Facebook.
Yeah.
Pizza in a cup.
I'm making bank all the way to the bank.
all right, I'll have this stuff
Yeah.
sent down to you, and we're gonna have to attach the fuel to the outside of your ship from outside, so I'll have Tugs pull them over. You have harnesses, or do you need them?
We
Might need 'em.
Yeah.
We've got harnesses to do some stuff, like boxes and crates, and they hold, but probably not.
Not outside the ship.
Not
Not
outside.
on the
Not
outside.
you know of.
And probably not even like toggles that would work with whatever they have as is. We'll need harnesses.
All right.
What
Well,
is the extra we need to transport?
It's best not to ask.
so I need you to go out to the Deep Wind station. All right.
Okay.
I'll transmit to you when you get. Oh, your communication's gonna be down. All right.
Might just have to tell
So-
us now.
Yeah. You're familiar with Corey, right? Corey Booker?
Yeah.
Okay.
That is
We're
correct.
good.
Corey
Or-
good.
I'm sorry, good. So you're gonna need
Sorry, just say
Corey.
yes.
Yeah.
Is that any Corey?
He's gonna need the fuel, but the box that I'm gonna give you, that needs to go to Adriana Tulsa.
Oh, okay. We met Adrian.
Did we?
She's the port director.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah, we did.
He said Corey, correct?
Yes. with
He
the
said
code.
Corey. He said Corey. Sorry.
Not Carrie. Not
Carrie.
Kari.
Good.
Corey.
Not Kelly.
We had a bad experience with a carry once.
Oh,
We still have the stab wounds.
you should get those fixed.
We did.
So you don't have them anymore.
We have the scars that remain from them.
It's emotional scarring.
They're on his heart.
Yeah.
Indeed.
All right.
Even gray men can learn to love.
Give me a couple hours to get everything lined up and get your ship fitted with the harnesses. They'll do it from outside. There'll be robots that'll bring them. You should probably be on the ship when that starts happening so that you can direct the robots, make sure that they get to your ports, your mount ports.
Okay.
Welcome to the rebellion.
Haha, thanks.
Ah, that's appropriate.
Whose side are we on?
Our side.
I think it's, yeah.
Whose side are we delivering to?
I guess the Terran forces?
Yeah. Well, you're assuming.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's what I'm wondering.
You don't actually know
It doesn't
that.
really matter.
The new Thracian Terran Alliance.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, so if we can pick him up a translator chip, that'd be. Oh,
Yeah.
While we're here, Barry, do you happen? It's an odd request, but as an advance against my payment, do you have maybe a saber that is powered?
A vibroblade. That work?
Shock sabers should also.
Yeah,
be
shock.
available.
Yeah, shock
melee
saber.
weapons are
Oh,
pretty
shock
common.
saber.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I say as
with attached energy discharge.
I mentioned as much that you probably want a shock saber.
Mm.
An energy discharge is a good idea as well.
Absolutely.
That'd
That's
be
not,
good.
that's not hard to get.
We will also probably want those.
Don't go kill anyone on my station, though.
No.
At least take them off.
It is for rat hunting
Yeah.
on the ship.
Damn, you got some big rats.
Bite your head off.
All right.
The IDs as well.
Okay. Oh, that's true. Well, as part of the rebellion, yeah, the ship's record is clean, but ours obviously not as much. Do you think we can get some
Do you know anyone?
decent IDs around here?
Do you think anyone cares about anybody's ID right now?
Call it
No.
Unless you get stopped by military. They'll care.
Call it an investment in the future.
Which
No,
military?
that's okay.
Yeah, we can get you set up. It'll take some time, though. You won't be leaving in a couple of hours.
Well, I mean, we can go.
That's going to be processed into the system, and it's
Yeah,
so
yeah.
spotty it has to be fed piecemeal as we
That
get
that can happen later. I
polls.
don't intend to be questioned by anybody in the near future.
Yeah, if you can start the upload, we'll leave.
Yeah.
What's happening.
All right, we'll get working with you with it. So you should go down and get a meal while you wait, I guess. Somebody should be on the ship though to guide the harnesses as the fuel's being loaded.
I'll grab some food and go out there.
Okay.
Shall I?
And you get to the convenience store. Oh, what were you saying?
No, I was gonna say, should I be the one on the ship? Let me know.
Oh, if you want to be, yeah.
I was gonna go and see about the tech for the
Yeah.
other ship.
Huh?
No.
That's
I will
okay.
go to
I
the
think I
ship.
figured it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They ask all these questions, and you're.
Yeah.
We will go to the ship.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna get some translation tech.
Please keep.
You go down to 707
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
convenience store. Hot dog. They have hot dogs.
on the little roller
hot
still.
dog.
The
Yeah.
green hot dogs.
Nobody knows how long that hot dog has been there.
Several-
Legends say it was built here when the station
But
was
it's a
built.
hot dog. Not
It's green.
Yeah.
green.
Oh, it is green.
Yeah,
green
it's
cake.
just a tube shape. Artificial
Interesting.
color.
Tube
In
shape.
another dimension.
I know. I think I would be making so much money with blue cake right now.
Yeah.
Blue cake. It tastes like green cake, but it's blue.
Ooh, no, see,
Yeah.
Blue food is
I'm
very
paying.
rare.
I'm paying for the same taste, but I'm also paying for the novelty.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's see if we can get a chip and figure out how to make it compatible. Maybe we got to work something together.
Just probably have to be modified for the old port.
It's cheap enough to probably just get one of each type because there are multiple types.
Yeah.
You know, and
Maybe
then
one-
figure out which one fits best and modify
Right.
it from there.
Little rosary programs.
Right.
Rosary stone.
Yeah, Rosetta Stone.
We may want to one day in the future look into getting a Ripper Doc to fix him a new updated port. When we are not engaged in a war zone.
If that's something he wants, we could do that. I suppose. My forte.
You don't know how to do that?
No, xenobiology is not the same as surgery.
It was a joke.
Oh, ha! Let's go. So yeah, buy the chips. See if we can't fit that in into his port. And that's what I'm up to.
So you get the chip, you head to the ship too. So everyone's basically heading to the ship, not hanging out here. Okay. So you get on the ship, you wait a while, you get a short wave audio communication
Okay.
from the delivery saying that they're here to attach the harnesses where your mount ports.
Yeah, we don't have those.
We have mount ports,
Okay.
the ship tells you.
Oh, we do? Where? What do they look like?
And you see a schematic of the ship show with ports for mounting
Oh, look
things.
at that. Huh.
At the
Okay. So
yeah, I think they mentioned places that you could mount weapons or something.
Yeah,
hard
hard points.
Yeah. The places that Soren wants to add on to after.
Yeah.
all right, so I'll start popping open whatever.
Yeah. Things pop out for mounting. And you can see what they're bringing you is a giant ball of fuel.
Just a big old sphere.
But it's like gigantic.
Okay.
It is so stupidly big.
Are we in zero? Is it 0G environment we're at?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're on the station.
You're far enough up. You're above the station.
We do not think we will be quite so stealthy as we used to be.
Well, no.
Yeah, and let's not get shot at.
We will now be a very large target for anyone who wishes to take our fuel.
That's right. What they'll do is they'll look. The enemy ships will look at it, just the
Floating
sphere by
giant fuel
itself.
pod
Going
out in
through the
space.
ship.
Yeah, I won't even notice it. That's right.
Technology, stealth.
We must now look out for the enemy forces, friendly forces.
Just any
pirates.
forces.
Pirates.
No boy.
You don't think there are pirates going on?
No,
here?
I'm sure there's piracy going on.
I mean, how long would it have taken the whole time to mess with the ship, or was that a quick job? Because
You'll be able to get in there and you could have it done probably in an hour or so.
if there's more time, then I'd
With
want
the machine shop, you could do it.
I'd want to return to the station and get whatever information I can on the past 8 months that we've missed.
Okay.
So that's
I mean, you can get some.
I'll get what I can.
It's
I mean,
very
even if it's
spotty.
just-
The feed, the sim is on and off,
Alright.
or available and unavailable.
Ask people as well.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is there like a gossip test we can do? Just gather information?
Not from your ship.
No, I meant walk back to the station.
Oh, yeah, there's a lot of people down there talking about all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, just get the short version. What give me a recap. What's happened the past 8 months? And then I
Slide
guess it's
that way a little bit.
I guess it's going to be a similar story to what the guy told me, the station person. What's his person's name? Barry said.
Yeah, everyone's talking about the war. They're talking about the money they're making, but the risks that are involved in making that money.
So I wanna know something. The Solarian forces, that's basically the space and UN combined there.
Yeah.
Basically the consortium of the other races.
Combined with Freesis and the other systems that Terra controls.
So, okay, I'm just trying to wrap my head around this. So Terra is fighting the Solarians, and they're both
Solarian.
fighting the third party.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah,
and
so-
the Solarians are basically.
And there's all kinds of rumors on that third party.
yeah.
But they're all just rumors.
But the Terrans were a part of the Silrain.
This was Terran, and they were part of the Silrain.
We're in the Soren arc.
They were part of it.
The whole
Correct.
galactic arc is.
Yep.
And so
Have they basically formally broken off, like literally marched out of the UN sort of thing, broken off communications as far as everyone knows?
It's something similar to that.
So this is.
And that has never succeeded in the past. And nothing like that's happened in 1,000 years. I mean, hundreds at least, many hundreds at least. And even then, it would be
I would imagine.
a very short-lived small rebellion of some kind.
I would imagine that it's like never been like a major, like a list race, like
No, the galaxy's been at peace for a long
Yeah,
time.
you might.
There's skirmishes everywhere, every now and then, but they're more like police actions than wars.
Yeah, I imagine if there would be any breakaways, it would be like a minor race or hermit faction
Right.
that just leaves, and then everyone
The
just leaves
Lorendi, the Lorendi
leaves
exit was the
big one.
the last really big
And
war.
is Terra at war with Silran group across their whole galaxy, or just here? Like, have you heard? Did people know? Is this war all over the park, or is it just here
They're
at
like,
core station?
we know we can't jump, and we're not getting. And with the crucible down, we're not getting enough data fast enough.
Right.
Everything's happening through hyperspace right now, so it's a rough go everywhere.
The good news is at least any reinforcements that arrive will take some time. So unless it's a constant like slow drip sort of thing, like the ship comes in every couple of one battleship comes in every couple of weeks.
Yeah, very slow. I mean, they try and coordinate better than one a week.
Well, you know what I mean. Like it's not like a constantly in. It's like, oh, there's a bit. Okay, nothing.
And there's no battleships. They're smaller military ships than that.
They have, at least not on this.
That doesn't mean there aren't some coming.
I was gonna say we don't know. We don't even know if we're the only front here.
Right, it could be happening. That's what I was trying to figure out, if it's happening across the galaxy or what.
This Terran Empire. That's what intrigues us. How did that come about? Last we heard, Terra was still factionalized amongst the remains of the nation states.
Yep.
And
I don't know. It's all politics. Everyone's like, nobody quite understands why or how. It doesn't make sense to them. It's not big enough to really fight off a whole galaxy anyway. So what would be the point?
They must have something to think this is a really valuable crucible. I wonder who this third faction is. All right.
What if this Terran Empire is an alternate universe Terran Empire that somehow all jumped? The sword is getting wide-eyed.
I was gonna say,
it is obviously an outlandish idea, like literally switching places with the Star Trek mirror universe sort of thing.
Right.
So, was there a sense that the Romanovs or the Duboises were like big pro-Terran nationalist types or something?
Yeah, that's something to know.
The
or are they going?
I forgot their name. The Romanovs are very pro-Terran.
Dubois
are they're very pro-core.
Okay. So I just was wondering, like, if we share this information and then they're like, "Hey guys,
yeah, maybe. Oh man,
it really is our war."
Yeah, the Romanovs were hated in the system for what they did.
Who knows which side they're on?
Yeah.
This is why it would be nice to get to Priestess if we can get there.
Yeah.
You're going the wrong direction.
Yeah, I know. Oops. Well,
we need money.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah,
need money.
you're going in the right direction for that.
Okay, we need that. All right,
We
good.
need money for information and weapons and everything else.
All right, yeah, let's do this. Perhaps foolhardy. If you will.
Quick run, no problem.
Yeah, just through a war zone.
Perhaps.
Bad things don't happen there.
You question your perhaps. There is no perhaps in this.
And they mount everything. They finish the connection. And your ship is fully loaded.
All right, ready to go. I guess, he doesn't actually need to come with us if he doesn't care to. I don't know what else he'd want to do, but
Yeah, we could see. Is the chip
In
functioning
this
yet?
time,
or-
when I get the
Where would
modified chip.
Okay, it is functioning. It's not your version of Keshian.
Of course not. Yeah.
It's way newer, and you can pick out a lot of words, but you feel like a kindergartner again. Like it's that kind of like, this is going to take time, and you'll be able to communicate through it, but it's going to be rough unless somebody can take all that old stuff and make a translator of not only the language but of that time shift,
Right.
which is doable, but it would be
Another
something you'd have to
side
custom to do. Do custom. Which you could do. Boots could do that too. Boots will start working on that.
Let's say add it
That's
to
a
the
good
list.
job for Boots. Yeah,
Is
that's a
this
good job for
modern
Boots.
cache that I have a translator chip for?
I would think
Or
we got
common
Solarian.
Solarian?
I would have insisted Solarian. You get
No,
basic.
you can have whatever common languages that you want to have put in there.
And it just translates it into the modern
Yeah.
cache, which you're struggling with.
So it'd be Kesh, Silrain Prime, probably Terran.
That's fine. I got the slots.
Yeah.
Mind comprehension has expanded.
And this is kind of amazing.
Yeah.
Like,
And
Yeah, chip goes in, I start understanding
right.
how words
New languages.
converted.
all of a sudden,
We haven't quite
whoa.
taken the caveman, but we're
Yeah, now.
technologically speaking, we're not far off.
Encino Man.
Wonderful. Encino Man. There we go.
Encino Man.
Polly Shore more work. Give Polly Shore more work.
I know Kung Fu.
That's right.
There you go.
Yeah, right? Kung Fu, right? So now he can speak in at least in
Common
broken.
Silrain.
Yeah, broken.
Broken.
Silrain.
Yeah, it'll be my pastiche of like Old English and pirate slang.
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
We got this chip discounted.
Yeah. That's
There you
right.
go.
It
You were
may or may not have a virus. We don't know. Frankly, we don't want to know.
Spyware on it. Yeah, banner ads keep
I was
popping up
gonna-
in your
I was about
head.
to say banner ads.
And you head out to the deep
Right.
blind.
There you go.
And as you get out towards the deep blind, I mean, we're going to skip all the time in between.
Yeah.
The ship slows down a lot
Yeah.
to deal with. You can't maneuver much, so it's got to be very careful. And you've got to be very careful in steering this thing through this stuff.
Okay.
Right. Through asteroids.
It's a big toe.
Also,
It's a
remember,
big toe.
Remember, we are not as stealthy as we were.
I still turn the transponder.
And you start going through the deep blind, and you pass a bunch of asteroids. I mean, they're not so close you're going to bump into them or anything, but the ship says there's a ship off to one side of you, and you get a visual, and you realize it looks kind of like the ships that were explained to you that were non-Terran, non-Silrain.
Let's.
Oh, did the computer recognize the image, by the way, when I showed it? Or I would
No.
do it if no.
And this is where we'll break.
Oh.
There you go. Okay.
Yay.
Well, thank you.
Thank you,
all.
everybody.
Everyone, a big round of applause for our GM and our
Yeah,
newest member.
Thank you, Scott.
Keith.
Excellent story.
Welcome, Keith.
Happy to be here.